Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at Tru Heel Heat. Yeah!
Alright, ready when you are.
Hey guys, I may have go away heat, but these guys have Tru Heel Heat. So you better listen to the podcast or else I'm gonna kick you in your fucking cock and balls.
I'll get it. It's Saturday morning. You know what that means. It's time for some Tru Heel Heat. Welcome to the Saturday Cookout. We are here to discuss the week in wrestling, including is Bray Wyatt gone ahead of WrestleMania? Is he coming back for WrestleMania? What should be the WrestleMania 39 Night 1 main event? You guys know how I feel about that. And it's reunions everywhere. We got reunions on AEW. Hangman reuniting with the Elite, ? Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens hug it out. Reunion, ! And we got a reunion right here on the show. Jarrett Bailey is back with us. It's time for Tru Heel Heat 217. Let's get to it. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. Welcome to Tru Heel Heat 217. Reunions everywhere. You get a reunion. Discussing the latest wrestling news, including Bray Wyatt out with an illness and his status for WrestleMania 39. Should Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley headline Mania Night 1? Recap of this in wrestling with AEW Dynamite featuring an excellent three-way trios main event. You had Rampage late last night, WWE Smackdown, Raw, NXT, the latest in the New Japan Cup, ROH TV, last night's GCW show, Impact on Access TV, and all of the co-hosts here will give you their match of the week. She took a week off, but she's back with us. It's the beautiful, the lovely, the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Luv.
Good morning, peeps. Sorry I missed you guys all. I was not feeling my best last week. Please forgive me. Missed you, but I'm happy to be here yet another Saturday. What's up, guys?
Welcome back, Krssi. And we got a very special guest. He hasn't been with us for a long time. He had a whole football season. He had to focus on, as you can see him. He does NFL coverage at the USA Today. He has plenty of different podcasts all around. Fightful Overbook, his own channel. He's doing so much great stuff with professional wrestling and football. He is my good brother, the man who, for once, he's not in costume, ladies and gentlemen. It was actually him. It's Jarrett Bailey.
You know, you ran through all of those promotions, and it's just I didn't realize how much wrestling happens every week. That was just like overwhelming. My goodness. But no, it's I'm glad to see you again doing this. I don't know when the last time I was on, to be honest. It has been a minute.
Yes. I know we like to give you, we don't, you told me before, I think the first time I had you on, the NFL season's very busy for me, Sid. I can't do that. but that's why I wait till you're in the off season
afterwards. Yeah,
after free agency week 2, and then I ask you, I'd be like, all right, come on, Jared, we need you back on the show.
That is much obliged. I appreciate it.
So is homeboy at the Jets or he's not with the Jets? Is it come?
It's
finalized. Like
basically done. They're just figuring out the compensation, so it'll be it's all
payment. Okay. So he's coming. He just need to know how much dineros he's getting. Got it. Okay. How many zeros is gonna be on the line?
He's gonna get 60 million regardless. Just depends on what the Jets will send the Packers in order to get him in terms of like draft picks and all that stuff. All that fine writing and stuff.
Got it. Okay. They got
yes. So yeah, he'll be there.
Now.
There you go. See, this is why we have Jared on, so we can get that information, because that would have went over my head. There's too much wrestling for me to focus on that.
Yeah, as you pointed out, there's so much.
And people keep posting it, and him in Jets attire. And I'm like, is he a Jet now? What did I miss?
You miss a lot. He's gonna get his chopped cheese and everything over here.
Yeah.
He likes his cheese being in Green Bay so long. But yes, thank you everyone for joining us for our flagship show. We appreciate y'all coming through every Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern time, for the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast, your comprehensive review of the week in wrestling. Of course, we appreciate y'all joining us. Show your appreciation back simply by dropping the thumbs up on the video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, this is an interactive podcast, so we want to hear from you. We're going to try to highlight as many of your comments that you have here in the live chat, but the best way to have your comment highlighted on screen and to help the channel grow is with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters, and we will highlight it here on screen. We got Vala B with us, says, if this episode isn't called Reunited and it feels so good, then what are we doing here? No, reunions everywhere. That's the title. That's the title, Vala B. We'll get to that next time. We got Dolores saying, what's
feels so good? Reunited. Don't know the rest of it though.
And I was just putting the spotlight on you too.
I know.
I thought you were gonna break it down. This one question. All right.
Something. I remember it being in the middle of the night on the infomercials.
In the middle of the night. Wow. That's
wake up in the middle of the night. You hear they had the music infomercials. Stop it now. Come on. No.
I know what you're talking about.
One of the songs that you heard at the
Jared is the young one here. Jared,
I don't know who sings it.
Do you remember the educational podcast that we did where I taught you what AIM was?
Yeah.
Yeah, the look he had, like, oh yeah.
Of course I do. I just can't. I know what that song is. I just don't know who sings it. I feel like everybody kind of knows what it is.
Yeah. I think everybody's heard that one. But I wanted you to like come back at me and be like, yeah, AIM is where you did your Facebook messengers back in the prehistoric days.
What does the A in AIM stand for?
America.
American Instant Messenger. Is that what it was?
No, It was AOL, America Online, and then AIM was the Instant Messenger. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
He's just like, sure.
I feel like there's too much.
It's like when you're coming back from summer vacation and you need a reminder what geometry is.
Yeah. Was that? I assume that was like the precursor to MySpace.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Before MySpace, before Facebook, good stuff.
Okay.
Good stuff there.
Duly noted.
Hey, saying what's up, everyone? How was your day? We got Frantic World here in the chat saying what's up, SP3, Krissi, Jarrett, and chat. We got the Negro Buck Nick Jackson saying it's Saturday, and you know what that means. Time for Tru Heel Heat, baby. We also got Negro Buck also asking me how we liking Challenge World Championship so far. It's good stuff. Good season. Probably going to be a better season than the main show. The main show sucks now. So yes, I'm liking the Challenge World Championship. And Vala B asking, how young are you?
Oh, I am 24.
There you go. You're not that young. You're not
Yeah,
that
no,
young.
Eventually it's going to get to the point where like I'm not the young guy anymore, and I think I'm getting there, and that depresses me.
Wait till 25, man. That's the
I'm about
new
to say,
midlife crisis.
wait till you get right. I'm about to say the same thing. This is only just
T-9 months, so it's coming. It's coming for you, sir. Even Negro Bucks is saying, "LOL, I'm younger than Jarrett, and I knew what AIM was." Oh man, he's calling you out. Calling you out, man.
It's okay.
I'm a man of simple pleasures, apparently. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Simple pleasures. Yes. How's the Tinders going? Is you still on there? Or
no? I think once you reach a certain age, you've just got to have a true conversation with yourself and be like, you got to stop being on the Tinders.
Stop doing those.
So I think I've had a good run of the mill with the Tinders, and I think it's time to officially tap out from them. So let's pour one out for the Bumbles, the Tinders, what else is there? The Hinge.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there other ones that I might be missing some?
We're gonna put Jarrett's jersey in the Raptors.
Yes, that'd be cool.
What's your number?
In high school, my number was 4, so we can just go 4.
There you go. There we go. We're gonna put the number 4 in the Raptors on Tinder. He's calling it a day.
I feel like I should have a retirement speech and like all of my one night stands there asking me questions. That would be kind of fun. That would be pretty cool.
He goes. You gotta wait 5 years, and then you could go into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, the Tinder Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is a hilarious bit that I will absolutely commit to. That's funny. That is funny.
I just made your next 2 podcasts.
Yeah, I think you did actually. For no notes, like right now I'm just doing like this current season, just talking to like my friends in wrestling media, which by the way, I need to get you on before the season's over. I think season 3 is going to be already committed to like women in sports. So like, I got to stay with that. Season 4 has just got to be like hookups that I've had. That would be the greatest podcast in the, dude, that would be so funny. I want it. I'm going to have to hit some people up. That would be funny.
As someone who once, and I think our producer probably remembers, I once had a birthday party where I invited multiple girls I hooked up with. I wouldn't say that's the best idea. I
think it sounds really funny.
Wait, what was the outcome of the party? Like, what happened?
Hey, I went home happy. That's all that matters. I wasn't killed.
With one of them?
Yes, I wasn't killed. That's all I remember.
Great job, friend.
There you go. But yes. I don't know how we always the opening minutes gets like this, Jared. I will just tell you that. Juggernaut saying that he's T-minus 2 months till I'm 25.
All these coming. Babies, what is happening? I feel so old.
We draw the 18 to 49 demographic. Yeah. That's why we have Jared. Jared is our hook. He's our hook. He's the one that created me being the number 1 hook fan.
Yes, I tell you what, true. I remember.
If I grow my hair out and perm it again and then just like shave, then I can be your hook.
You'll be. I was saying your head to get higher. Yeah,
I was gonna say it'll take a little bit, but it'll get there.
I forget if we've had Jared on after Full Gear 2021, but all I will say is that the people that usually watch in Krssi know, I was able to be in a cipher with the homie hook.
Were you?
Full Gear 2021. I'll never
forget. Good stuff. I've definitely been on since then. I feel like I didn't know that.
Yes. I feel like I probably didn't mention that until I remember that you were the one that started my fandom of Hook because you did not like Hook. So that made me a bigger fan of Hook.
That was like way before he even had his first match too. It was like, why is Taz's son out here? Who gives a shit? And then he finally wrestled, and I was like, all right, he's cool. So yeah.
That's how it was though. That's really how it really was.
Yeah. So, good Lord, I didn't realize that was that long ago.
that was a while ago.
That's crazy.
Rickety saying, good morning, Tru Heel. We got Dolores saying SP3, the P stands for play. No. I hanged mine up a long time ago. 3-4 years ago. I put my jersey up in the rafters. I was retired. I'm retired. I'm waiting like 2 more years. I can go into the Hall of Fame. Going to the Hall of Fame, But yes, Tru Heel Roll Call. is how we start off every episode of the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. Our top 3 conversation starters on our Tru Heels Facebook group page. We got Zaire Akins, number 2, Alan Weinstein, and number 1, the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. Once again, back-to-back weeks. Our Patreon backers includes Nick, Alan Weinstein, Vala B, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin K, You My Boy Blue, Yachty, Robert, Steve, Antoine, 5th Generation Carney, Ladarius, John, aka Russell Scopes, Dan, Kobe, Queen Monet, Dolores, John Martin, and DJ Eric. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. We appreciate y'all, and I appreciate Nick Jackson. Yes, we're the real demo gods here. We are. But let's talk about what we missed. Speaking of the demo gods, let's talk about AEW Dynamite to kick off the show this week. AEW Dynamite was from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada for the first time. The show did not do very well in the ratings. Basketball whooped their ass this week with March Madness and the NBA. They did 852,000 viewers, but the show was great. It included
Can I have a
what? Included a fabulous opening segment with MJF's Re-bar mitzvah, which turned into a face.
Can I have a toothpick?
You can mute yourself. Including the face-off between the 4 pillars of All Elite Wrestling with MJF, Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, and Darby Allin, each man stating their case to get a shot at the AEW World Championship. Jungle Boy talking about his history with MJF, facing him at Double or Nothing 2020 and rising through the ranks. Sammy Guevara saying that he came into AEW as a bump guy for Chris Jericho, and now he's a 3-time champion, so he wants a shot. Darby Allin saying that he cares so much about the company and a lot more than all the wrestlers who complain on Twitter, just like MJF, so he deserves a shot. And the whole segment ended with our Burberry-hatted friend MJF landing straight into his cake, because that's how wrestling works, folks. The heel always goes into their damn cake. Then we had the Blackpool Combat Club defeating Hangman Adam Page and Dark Order in a tremendous trios match to further along their heel turn. The Blackpool Combat Club took out Stu Grayson and Evil Uno, giving Evil Uno a concussion after the matchup until John Silver and Alex Reynolds ran them off. You also had Jade Cargill once again retain the TBS championship over Nicole Matthews. Post-match, though, Taya Valkyrie made her AEW debut to face off with Cargill, positioning herself as the next challenger for the TBS championship. And then we had a absolutely fantastic 3-way AEW World Trios Championship main event with the 2 Winnipeg boys in the matchup. Kenny Omega representing the Elite, Chris Jericho representing the Jericho Appreciation Society. They went at each other. They teamed up with each other against Brody King, who was once again a monster. But in the end, it was the House of Black who came out victorious. But everybody was talking about the post-match as the Blackpool Combat Club, Dark Order, and Hangman Page came out brawling, with Page getting into the ring to stand off with the BCC. And then we saw the pre-reunion, I'll call it, with the Elite coming in to have the back of their former friend to close the show, to make the Blackpool Combat Club walk off, and all 4 men standing in the ring, reminiscent as a callback to AEW Revolution 2020. It was like the WCW Nitro endings that I used to love, that ended with a hook, a cliffhanger, which you gotta watch next week to see what happens next. Jarrett Bailey, what did you think about this week's Dynamite and that ending with the Elite pre-reunion?
Yeah, it felt like AEW in 2021 again, which is, something I think that they've been missing as of late, where, yes, they'll kick off shows with, banger matches with Orange Cassidy against insert name of wrestler here. But I think that they kind of got away from like good storytelling throughout the show. And having this, long running thread finally intersect again with Hangman and the Elite. I think it's going to be a very fun payoff where, you know, I think we'll see some sort of, you know, Elite versus BCC or, you know, something of that nature come to be. I'm very excited for whatever they have in store. So yeah, I'm excited about it. Taya Valkyrie, that was cool. I'm excited to see where that goes and how she's booked in AEW. She's a good addition to the women's division. I'm over Jade Cargill, man. Like, I'm sorry. And for like a solid year now, like, it's just been the same thing every week. Like, she'll beat somebody who's only on Dark in like a 3-minute match. And they're like, all right, Jade's 59-0. Like, fucking great. I don't care. So, and I think most people have been waiting for, you know, the Chris Statlander to get back to win, because I think that was kind of in their plans before Chris got hurt. But if Taya Valkyrie is the one to do it, then that's also very okay, because I like Taya Valkyrie and she's very good. And yeah, the trios triple threat was awesome. Beat the House of Black. I'm glad that they're finally getting, you know, pushed the way that I think everybody was kind of expecting them to once they were formed. Took a little while, but Malachi's great. Brody King's great. Julia Hart is, I would dance on broken glass for Julia Hart. But yeah, the entire show, I mean, fine. I think from beginning to end it felt like old AEW. And I know that's so, you know, everybody hates hearing, I'll get back to the old AEW. This one felt good, especially because going in, I expected Jeff Jarrett to beat Orange Cassidy, and I was like anticipating being pissed off, but it didn't happen. So I'm happy.
Yep.
So that was just a nice little cherry on top, because like, Jeff Jarrett, good for you. You're like an all-time bag getter. I'm tired of seeing Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal on TV every week. So hopefully we get a little less of that.
Come on, Jeff Jarrett. He is the biggest carny in professional wrestling, and I love it. I love every minute of it. This man can't just go for a cover. He has to celebrate before he gets going for the cover, which makes it so obvious they're going to kick out. It's so hilarious to me. I'm sorry.
He's a tool. I just can't. The entirety of Team TNA and guy who is very obviously supposed to be AEW's version of Great Khali is not great. I'm not a fan.
Oh,
He's
man.
like, that's not my bag.
Miss
Krssi Luv, what did you think about the opening with the 4 pillars face off and MJF's Re-bar mitzvah becoming a setup for the 4-way that should probably be the main event of Double or Nothing?
Yeah, the pillars, all of the guys had valid points, and I wonder if they just was off the top of the dome and just speaking from like the heart, or was that written down? It's okay, I'm gonna say this and you're gonna say this. Like, I hope it wasn't like rehearsed. I hope they went out there. Darby didn't seem rehearsed. Darby seemed like he was just like, let me just tell you this, because but the bar mitzvah, I mean, he could have found some prettier ladies, but whatever. I guess that's not, you know, what they have in Winnipeg or whatever, right? Anywho.
Damn, Krssi.
Sorry.
Come on.
I mean, it's a bar mitzvah. Like, I'm thinking you, like, at least the Godfather had some good, solid girlfriends. I mean, that came out with him. Like, sheesh.
Oh, we're calling the Godfather's ladies girlfriends now.
Well, friends, let's not do this, okay? His lady friends, okay? Children are watching.
This is true.
Hello. There's children around. Stop. Anywho, and then they had flats on. I was like, are they going to in the ring? Like, what's happening? Why are they have on flats? Like, what kind of bar mitzvah is this? He said it was such a big deal, but everything was great. I love the fur Burberry hat. He was standing in the corner. I was like, God, this guy is just like amazing. Like, and then he was just spewing out just pure nonsense to the crowd, and the crowd was just eating up like, you dummies. Like, he's trying to get you to do this. Like, this is what he wants. But the crowd was awesome. But great opener. I mean, was it like 23 minutes long for that whole segment?
It was a pretty, it was a pretty long segment, but it was the WWE revolving door promo. But this worked. This worked because it was very fresh for the main event scene. And MJF had me in stitches when he was like, he said something in like Judy, like, what, you got me lump up in here.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That was hilarious. He was great. He was great. I thought Darby Allin was really good. I thought even Jungle Boy, he sounded a lot more comfortable. More comfortable on the mic.
He sounded a lot better on the mic than he has in previous attempts on the mic. There was the line that MJF said about not needing AEW daddy daycare and just running through everybody.
Yes.
You had Sting, you had Christian, you had Jericho. I had no I
had no one.
I loved that.
Yeah, that was a good shot to come back. The only one I didn't like was Sammy, because I did not need to know that you were supposed to be the bump guy for
No, I liked that.
That was a little too much inside baseball. Like you should he could say that he was just supposed to be, you know, the loser or the flaky for Chris Jericho. That's fine. But when you say bump guy, I think that's a little bit too much insider information.
No, you know what? I can't.
No, but you gotta
allow me to defend
yeah.
Sammy Guevara, which is something I
oh
didn't
boy.
say. I know I'm like notoriously the guy who doesn't like Sammy Guevara because ever since they made him and Ty like this heel couple on TV, it's been unwatchable. But no, I liked his promo a lot. I thought he did really well. I liked the line about, you know, bumping for Jericho and whatnot. I appreciated that. I like the little insider stuff. So that's just me though.
Yes, that's the only thing I think I didn't like about any of the promos. I was even all right with Jungle Boy talking about how MJF doesn't work dark elevation. Or
I like that a lot.
AEW Rampage, because he's supposed to. Because I like the delivery, because he said even AEW Rampage. Because I heard some people were like, "Oh no, he's defining down Rampage." No, but he's kind of saying that you're supposed to work Rampage, but you don't. You only work one day a week. So I enjoyed the segment. I definitely enjoy the Elite reunion. How do you think this is all going to transpire with Hangman getting back with the Elite, Miss Krssi Luv, and how did you like the ending? Oh, she's frozen. I think she's frozen. Yep, she's in one state. She's in the dream state, ladies and gentlemen. Krssi Luv. Look at this. This is a picture. You can screenshot it. There she is.
I'm like, bro, like, come on. I was like, I got the hotspot with. I was like, I didn't even not even connect to my own shit, and I'm like, something you pay for, and these.
Krssi, what did you think about the ending with Hangman and the Elite?
Oh wow, that was goosebumps. First of all, I was like, okay, if we have Hangman with the Elite, that means John Moxley and the others is only like 3 of them. Who is the 4th guy?
Bryan Danielson. Yes, Bryan Danielson.
But he said he was going home.
Hey, home is where you make it, and that is the Blackpool Combat Club. That's the group that he really created. He was the one that came up with the idea.
I know. So okay, well, if he does decide to come from home with the Garcia twins, then great shit to see. I can't wait to see what they do. Hopefully they will have something at the next pay-per-view, which is what, May, right?
Yeah, Double or Nothing.
Yeah. Double or Nothing. Okay. I'm ecstatic to see how they put this together. Hopefully, you know, Hangman is not like Kevin Owens is like, oh, I don't want to be friends with you guys anymore because you guys left me, blah 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 blah. Like, oh my god, and it takes 3 long weeks, blah 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 blah, like all this other shit.
You're like, I'm enough of this. But I definitely agree with Jarrett. This felt like a 2021 edition of AEW Dynamite with how fresh the main event scene was in the opener with the 4 pillars. And then the Elite is really the heart of AEW. Their story and those guys interacting with each other when they're on top or when they're a focal point, AEW always feels like AEW, and it hasn't felt like that in a while. You had all this stuff with Brawl Out. You had Hangman kind of taking a backseat after his world title run, but after the win at Revolution, the Elite having a great match at Revolution as well. It feels like AEW has some momentum. Hopefully they can keep it going. We got in the live chat here. We got Negro Buck agreeing with Jared, who says Sammy's promo was good. All right, sure.
I liked it.
Valami says Kenny is the one who's being apprehensive. Yeah, because does Kenny know everything that's happened? Does Kenny know that Matt and Nick nodded to Hangman before he lost the title? Does Kenny
That's
know?
true.
Kenny
You're
know
right.
that,
Oh, so they need
the
to watch
Young
out for
Bucks
Kenny, not Hangman.
Does Kenny know that the Young Bucks asked Hangman to be in the trios tournament before they even asked Kenny? Does he know all of this stuff? We need that information.
So someone's gonna be a snitch and tell him then, right?
Don Callis,
Like
absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be Don Callis.
You said Don Callis.
Don Callis gotta be the one. He's gonna be the one that snitches on all of this. He's like, no, Kenny, you do not want to get back with Hangman. You do not want this.
He can't be trusted. He's not trustworthy.
Yeah, Kenny said he hasn't watched that match back. That was back in November of 2021. He's had a full year and a half almost to watch that matchup. So does he know? We need to find out. But they had some big news from AEW this week before AEW Dynamite with the announcement that AEW NJPW Forbidden Door is officially returning, as announced by AEW as part of a 6-date Canadian Summers Tour. AEW announced on Wednesday that the crossover pay-per-view with NJPW will return and take place on June 25th in Toronto as the start of a tour of the country that includes Dynamite Rampage tapings in Ontario and Alberta, a Dynamite taping in I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not going to try. And a live Rampage taping in the same province. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there are plans for a match between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay at the event. The two previously faced each other at NJPW Wrestle Kingdom 17, with Omega defeating Ospreay for the IWGP US title. However, it was noted that at the time they held back in the match and planned to continue their feud later. So you got Omega and Ospreay being talked about. Me personally, I really want to see Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. We didn't get it last year. Give me that this year. Jarrett, if you could have one match at Forbidden Door, what would it be this year?
Yeah, you just took it. I was gonna say Danielson and Zack Sabre, since we didn't get that last year. If we can get some version of FTR against Aussie Open, that would be pretty cool. I know that they did an indie show last year that tore the house down. So if we could get that FTR Aussie Open 2 at Forbidden Door, that would, yes, please.
I'm here.
Put
for
it in
that.
my veins. Yes, it's that.
Krssi Luv, your one match for Forbidden Door.
FTR and Ozzy, like that. Give it to me now. Put it in my veins. I need it right now. I need it. Shake it, please. Has to happen.
If I can name one more, Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. If you're gonna sign up Mercedes for 2 more months, that's all you got to do. Sign her up 2 more months.
I would spontaneously prolapse if that happened.
Right, like now you want us all to faint, right?
Prolapse, not collapse. Prolapse.
No, prolapse.
Yeah. Look at this guy. Education being used here. We got Vala B in the chat saying Forbidden Door 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yes, absolutely. Name it that. That's the nickname. We got ALW Alan Weinstein with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, ALW. He says, please come join your folks from the Workhorse Wrestling Network tomorrow on the Tru Heel Heat Twitch gaming for GCW Worst Behavior Watch Along. Yes, they'll be going live over on our Twitch, twitch.tv/Tru Heel Heat Gaming, to watch some GCW up in the north in Canada. We got Nero Buck, who says the Canadians are getting a lot of good wrestling. Yes, indeed. Yes, they are. We also got him saying we need Dragon versus ZSJ. We also hopefully Omega versus Ospreay too. The match I've been asking for since the first Forbidden Door was Hiromu Takahashi versus Darby Allin. I need that. That is just 2 guys.
When's the show?
June 25th.
Okay, then we can do Punk and Kenta.
He's like, give me CM Punk back, or Punk versus Tanahashi. That's another match we were supposed to get last year. We got Vala B saying that Hiromu versus Darby has to happen. Yes, give me all of that. Frantic World saying, can we get Golden Lovers at Forbidden Door and Mercedes Moné versus Jade or Shida? I take any Mercedes.
I take yeah.
Anything. Give me anything, please. So many great options for Forbidden Door. We'll be talking more about that as we get closer to the event. But also some big news came out of AEW Dynamite this week after the performance in this trios matchup with the Blackpool Combat Club, Hangman Adam Page, and Evil Uno. The returning Stu Grayson is once again All Elite as he has re-signed with All Elite Wrestling. Tony Khan announced on Thursday that the Dark Order member who made his return on Wednesday's episode is back with the company. Grayson left AEW when his contract expired with them in April of 2022. He had previously made a return appearance on an October episode of Rampage in Canada in a backstage segment. Khan wrote, "Welcome back to AEW at Stu_Dos. After a great match, he's now more motivated than ever, and now it's official. Stu Grayson is All Elite once again." I think this is well deserved because he was the MVP of that match on Dynamite. What do you think about Stu Grayson being back with AEW? And do you think that AEW is going to put more of a spotlight on the Dark Order now that Stu is back?
Seems to be what they're kind of going for, because they gave Uno the main event against Mox, and it was really good. And Stu, I think they're trying to go in a different direction with the Dark Order, where it's not just like hokey, funny, like goofy stuff. Like they want to be taken a little bit more seriously, which is fine by me. I think that we need a little bit more of that from them. And yeah, Stu's great. Now that he's back, he'll be on Ethan Page's toy hunts every week. I'm sure that's nice for me because I enjoy those. So yeah, no, everybody wins in this situation. So it's nice that he's back.
Indeed. I'm excited for to see what they do with Stu, and we'll talk about what they announced on Rampage for Stu's next match in AEW in a bit here. Before we get to that, Saraya made some news this week after the promo segment with the Outcast with Saraya, Tony Storm, and Ruby Soho. Saraya went on Twitter and said that she was fined for a particular word she used on AEW Dynamite, and a report says that her comments are not a work. During this week's episode, Saraya told the crowd that they were twats, and she tweeted, "Yes, you're a bunch of neck-bearded twats." After the
best line of the week, best line of the week.
She got fined for using the term. Fightful Select reports that according to what they were told, Saraya's tweet was legit and the fine went to Projects for AEW Together. She is said to have apologized privately, and a mass email was sent to talent stating that Saraya was fined for using profanity and flipping a middle finger without informing the segment's coach. AEW talent have been discouraged from flipping audience members off or using body shaming in regard to the fans. I think that was Tony Storm who called them all fat people. Yes, the Outcasts once again causes some controversy. Miss Krissi Luv, what did you think about the Outcasts promo this week? What do you think about Saraya being fined for calling the fans twats? I mean, some of the fans are. But go ahead, Krissi.
Calling the fans twats, whatever.
Twats, yeah.
Twats is the correct way to say it.
Right, okay.
But she said twats.
Right, it's her accent, friend. Come on. I was like, I could have sworn she said twat, but whatever. Sure. I guess you have to give her some type of heat. I don't know. Like, we can't say certain words now. Like, it's just how it is because it's so offensive. Like, we didn't even know these words were offensive until someone said, yeah, it offends me of that type of, like, who's about, I guess. I don't know. I thought the Outsiders were good this week. I guess they wouldn't be a problem if they weren't causing havoc. So I'm guessing they're doing their job and getting the heat that they're supposed to. And like you said, Tony Storm did call the people fat. She did. She did. Hey, sorry.
She body shamed them.
She body shamed the people.
Poor people.
And for the poor people at the arena in Canada. Or maybe she was just talking about the country and I don't know. But yeah, I think they're not doing their job or being great heels unless they get some type of like backlash or like for doing something that like brings the heat on them. I guess they're supposed to be good heels. If you're not a heel, then then you're not doing the right job. Then you need the heat. So I mean, good job on them. I mean, how much did she have to pay?
I don't know.
I think it was 1,000. It wasn't a lot at all. Like,
okay.
I would have to
Something
look. I
very
think I saw a tweet talking about how much it was, but it wasn't like an absurd amount.
Okay,
Yeah, she'll be fine.
She'll be
Yeah,
all right then. She can eat that.
I'm all for it though. Do whatever
I'm
you
here
want
for it.
crowd.
Yeah.
Like
Get all the
MJF
heat.
comes out
That's
every
the
week.
point.
MJF comes out every week and calls everybody fat pores, and it's hilarious. Like who cares? It's funny.
That's very true. It's funny.
Call them fat. Call them twats. Call them. I'm not going to say that word on here. I don't want you to get demonetized.
So you're here for the Outcast?
I'm here for the
Outcast.
Outcast.
I like them. I just think they need taken. Like, I like all of them a lot. I love Tony. Love Ruby. I should have worn my Ruby Soho shirt. And I love Saraya. But I think that their whole gimmick is dumb. Like spray painting, that's stupid. But like the concept of them being a heel group, I love. How it's being put into action, I hate. It's dumb.
It's not well.
I want to see something like when the Nexus first arrived, do shit like that. Just beat the living hell out of people. Don't do the spray paint. Spray paint's stupid. Spray paint's dumb. Yeah. Just beat the living hell out of people, cause havoc.
I would say cause havoc, hijack the announce table, do some announcing,
why
be the NWO. If this is what you want to be the outsiders. Like this is what your gimmick is based off of, you being from the other company. Cause fucking havoc. Like do other things. Like randomly, like have a random jobber stuck in a damn locker. I don't know. Like do something where people just be like, okay, they're causing havoc and they need to be they need to be stopped.
The chat is telling me to say the C word. Am I allowed to say that on here? SP3.
I don't think we I think we would get demonetized.
All right, guys. I'm glad that I didn't say it then.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you asking. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Fuck, shit, ass, cunt. Yeah. Oh, see,
you did it.
Oh, he said it. Oh no. See you next Tuesday, friends.
Damn it. I'm out of here.
Get him out of here.
You see, I said I'll kick myself.
Oh well, bye, Sid. Oh well, these things happen.
Oh man, damn it! It's y'all fault. It's all y'all fault. Y'all got me on a tangent.
I'm sorry.
Damn it.
I apologize.
My apologies, everybody. I'm gonna pay a fine to Tru Heel Heat. And yes, exactly. Rickety said it. SP3 fine. Yes, indeed. AEW Rampage last night. It was real late. St. Patrick's Day Slam. The show featured Powerhouse Hobbs defeating Rey Fenix to retain the TNT Championship. Really good matchup to kick off the show. You also had Taya Valkyrie made her AEW in-ring debut in a squash win. I love the fact that I didn't even realize that her and Jade have the same finisher. She's hers is called the Road to Valhalla, while Jade is called the Jaded. So
hers is so much better. Oh, come on. Road to Valhalla. That's such a badass fucking finisher name.
It is though. It is. Jade came out to watch this matchup
She's still with homeboy?
Apparently she's back with him now. I guess he needs a publicist. You also had Stu Grayson, who cut a promo from the hospital, he said, as Evil Uno was in the hospital with a concussion after the beatdown from the Blackpool Combat Club. So he called out Jon Moxley to face him one-on-one on AEW Dynamite this week. You also had in the main event Daniel Garcia beating Brody King thanks to help from Chris Jericho, who hit Brody in the face with Floyd the Bat. The Jericho Appreciation Society getting the one up on the House of Black after their loss on AEW Dynamite. So some good stuff. But I think the whole AEW fan base was more talking about an announcement that was made earlier in the day from AEW ahead of Rampage. In a post on Twitter, AEW CEO Tony Khan announced a match between Kenny Omega and AAA Mega Champion El Hijo del Vikingo for Wednesday's AEW Dynamite. The match was originally set to happen in AAA back in 2021, but was postponed due to Omega's injuries at the time. Vikingo is not well known, but is known in a lot of wrestling spaces. So of course, AEW announced a new person in a dream match So you had, of course, the minority of fans who's like, "Where's the story? I don't know this person. I don't know how to use Google." For Krssi Luv, I know you're one person that watches maybe a lot more, WWE, AEW. Do you get offended in any way when someone new comes out and has a match on AEW, or are you more open to finding out these new wrestlers more than that minority that I was just speaking of?
I think AEW has opened up the doors for more people just to come in and like showcase their work from the independent scene. So they don't necessarily have to be signed that day. However, it gives me, as a person that does not see most of the indie stuff, to enjoy these people that are not there. I'm like, oh, now I can watch this person once he leaves here. Like, this person put on a great match. Let me see who he is. Let me Google him. Let me find out what. So I think it's great work, to be honest. I like it personally.
What about you, Jarrett?
Yeah, I'm a fan of this. Very big fan. It made my nipples hard whenever I saw this announcement. I was pretty excited. And I'm not going to pretend I watch AAA every week, but I know enough to know who Vikingo is, and have seen enough to know that this match is going to absolutely fuck. So I'm excited. Yeah, Kenny and it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
We are all here for Omega versus Vikingo. Even the people that don't know who Vikingo is, they are going to know who he is after Wednesday. And I know Triple H and WWE will know how he is because he's going to get some calls from them following AEW Dynamite. Or probably
I mean, they brought in Commander for that ladder match, and there's people who are like, "Oh, who's that?" And then he tore the house down. It's like, "Oh, all right, duly noted. I'll make sure I know who that is." I think it's gonna be similar to that.
Same thing with Bandito. Same thing with Dragon Lee. Like all these guys.
Which, by the way, where the hell's Bandito been? Didn't he sign with AEW? Why is he not on TV more?
He had visa issues. I heard.
I was a lot of people having visa issues.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that had visa issues. That's why Dragon Lee got like signed from WWE in like January, and he's just showing up now because they finally settled his visa issues.
Gotcha.
We got a bunch of people who's happy for Vikingo. We got Frantic World who says let's go Vikingo. We got Negro Buck who says Kenny versus Vikingo is gonna be stupid crazy. We got Fala B who said, didn't WCW do this back in the day? Yes, they did this all the time. They would randomly show somebody from New Japan or AAA and they show up on the show. If they had a good match, you remembered them, you wanted to see them again. If they didn't, then they were gone. So it's like, I don't know why it's because we have social media now. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. People have social media now, so they have to vocalize, I don't know him, and are so upset about it. Also, news coming out of the taping in Winnipeg, AEW signed someone else, but to a backstage role as a coach and producer. Sarah Stock, the former Sarita in Impact Wrestling, has joined All Elite Wrestling as a coach and producer. PW Insider reports that Stock began with the company at Wednesday's Dynamite and Rampage taping in Winnipeg. Stock, who also worked as Dark Angel in CMLL and AAA, was with WWE as producer until she was released in September of 2020 as part of pandemic-related cuts, so you know how that works, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, you also had some rather bigger news with AEW, as they're reportedly set for a new show, possibly in a historic time slot, as AEW is reportedly set to announce its third in-ring TV show on Warner Brothers Discovery. A report from Matman's Andrew Zarian notes that Warner Brothers Discovery is giving AEW a third weekly TV show. It's believed that an announcement on the show would come as early as April, and Zarian teased that the time slot will be Saturdays at 6:05 p.m. Eastern time, but that was not confirmed. Of course, this is the legendary time slot that WCW Saturday Night also had on TBS, and there's no word on what the name would be, even though AEW did file for the name AEW Collision in February for use for a pro wrestling show. My question for you, Jared, Is it the right time for AEW to get a third weekly show based on, the numbers across the board for their TV? Dynamite not doing, the greatest, not as high as the numbers they were doing previously due to competition on TV. And most of all, Rampage has kind of become just the secondary show. It's a secondary show that doesn't have a lot of the top stars. Do you think AEW is stretching themselves too thin getting a third show?
Yeah, I think so. And plus, you throw in 2 YouTube shows. Like at some point, it's just oversaturation. Now, if they can somehow find a way to make all of these shows mesh in terms of storylines taking place coherently on both and making like the big stars appear on all 3, then sure, I'm sure you can figure out a way to make that work. But right now, it's obviously Dynamite is the main show and whatnot. But we were promised that Rampage would be kind of a continuation of that these, that the show would matter. It's just for the mid-card stories. So I do think that oversaturation is definitely a thing when it comes to content. And that, I don't know. I would rather have seen, like, if AEW is going to get another show, dedicate one of them to just being a Ring of Honor show. I think that would make a lot more sense.
That's what I was thinking. That should have been it. It should have been just the Ring of Honor show, because we'll talk about Ring of Honor later. It's been good. 3 back-to-back weeks.
One of Ring of Honor's matches is my match of the week. It was fantastic.
And it seems like every week we're always talking about
somebody
Ring of
has
Honor
it.
matches. Yeah, somebody has a Ring of Honor match in their match of the week. Krssi Luv, what do you think about AEW getting a third TV show?
Too soon. We have to figure out the whole programming and what we're doing with the current shows we have now. I think that we're putting too much effort and time into something for another show when you should be trying to get like a streaming platform or something. Like, we need to figure out like how we can, like, instead of like putting money towards another show, let's see how we can like get our stuff where it's streamable and we can keep watching these things and keep going back and maybe have like the documentaries and the behind the scenes stuff. I think that their time on another show when you have 2 on YouTube as well, like, it's too much. It's so much production. I thought these people the whole point was not to work so much, and it seems like you're going to be working more. Like, you're going to just have tape shows. Like, there's but so many tape shows you can watch.
It's true. And I think the only positive that I saw from the report of them getting a third show is that with the third show, they would now do weekly Friday tapings, which would mean that Rampage is live. And Rampage tends to always feel better when it's live in comparison to when it's like taped. When it's taped, it feels very missable. Yeah, people are tired, but it always feels very missable and doesn't have the same energy when it's live. So that would be the only positive of this. But I totally agree with Jarrett. It should just be an ROH show, because that product is already feeling different than AEW. It feels more vibrant than AEW Rampage already after 3 weeks.
Very much.
But yes, it's time to talk about some little WWE, because also last night before Rampage went live at 11:30 p.m. I don't know, those time changes as well don't hurt, but as other. But on Fox, you had a WWE Smackdown, and once again, the Bloodline took center stage as Cody Rhodes opened up the show, trying to mediate the reunion between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and failing before Kevin Owens revealed that he just wanted to fight along someone who actually wanted to be his friend. He let Sami know what's the reason that was stopping him from reuniting with him. This led to Sami stopping Kevin Owens from leaving the building and telling him that no matter what happens, where he is his brother and he loves Kevin. Kevin left the building seemingly, and later in the show, to close the show, we had a fantastic segment as Sami Zayn and Jey Uso went face to face with a confrontation, and Jey saying that he's always protected his family. He was the only one that was against Sami Zayn, but when he finally let his guard down and accepted Sami Zayn as his brother. Sami made him feel stupid and betrayed him, and he said that Sami is nothing but a fake ass oos for that. This led to Zayn saying that he was a brother, he did love the family, but he wasn't going to take the abuse from Roman Reigns like Jay always does. But he says that Jay isn't mad at Sami for hitting Roman with the chair. Jay's mad at Sami that he didn't do it himself. This led to a huge brawl. Yes, this led to a huge brawl between the two. Jimmy Uso got involved with the Usos jumping Sami Zayn until Kevin Owens made his return, beat down the Usos, and then finally it happened, Krssi. It finally happened. We got the fucking hug. Yes, the crowd got the Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth hug. The crowd goes wild. It was an incredible reaction to this hug after weeks and weeks of buildup. And then we had Cody Rhodes as Emilio Estevez in Mighty Ducks 3 looking at the Mighty Ducks and saying, like, I did good. They did good. They made me proud. I'm a proud papa. Great stuff from the Bloodline segment. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes. You also had Sheamus and Drew McIntyre's #1 contenders match went to a no contest after Gunther and Imperium got involved. Because of that, this caused Adam Pearce to make the IC title match a triple threat at WrestleMania. So it will be Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 39. You got Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. They finally did something with the feud. A little too late. Doesn't feel like a main event, but they finally did something, folks. They added some heat to their rivalry with a promo exchange that led into an intense pull-apart brawl between the two women ahead of WrestleMania. Speaking of the women, WWE announced that there will be a WrestleMania showcase. I don't know what that means, but yes, it will be a 4-way women's tag team matchup, and Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez beat Tegan Knox and Emma, first time they teamed together. But yes, Liv Morgan and night 2. Or the pre-show. Raquel and Liv. You know what?
I forgot all about the damn pre-shows. Damn, you're so right. Wow.
Raquel and Liv qualified for an obvious filler match for WrestleMania 39. And then we have Rey Mysterio telling Dominic Mysterio that he wasn't around when he was a kid because he wanted to give him the life he never had. And he says once again that he refuses to fight his son. This was an excellent promo segment where it really felt like Rey was getting closer to the line, but just won't cross it. So I said yesterday on Smack Talk, I will ask Krssi Luv if you agree. I think the key here is they got to get Angie involved. They got to get Mrs. Mysterio involved, and Dominic raises his hand to his mother, and that's going to be the key to finally make Rey fight his damn son. Because I said it on SmackDown, I'll say it here. If my son grows up and he raises his hand to his mother, I'm going to beat his ass. So that is the key.
I mean, listen, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think that's probably the only thing, because the sister, it wouldn't make him fight. It would be more the mother, and the mother is probably like pleading with Dominic. Maybe Rhea's probably going to make or kidnap the mother, and then that's probably how they'll get it to go.
Okay. So we saw on NXT this week, kidnapping and home invasions might not be the thing.
You're right. Oh, you're right. You're right. Damn. Okay. Shit. I'm sorry. I forgot all about it. It was so bad. That's probably why I forgot. Oh, you okay? All right. Scratch that whole thing.
You tried to mentally erase it from your memory. I understand.
You're right. Yeah. Damn. Okay. Start. Sorry. Okay. Let's start all over. This is why this is the writing rooms. You got to start off from scratch.
Good stuff. Jarrett, what did you think about the finally the reunion between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn after weeks and weeks of build-up? It took Sami telling Kevin he loves him, another man telling another man they love him, because friendship overcomes everything. What did you think about the reunion between Sami and KO to end SmackDown?
Yeah, it was nice. I think everybody was just happy to see it happening. Cody looking on like a proud dad, like that his son stopped fighting. Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice.
He damn sure did look like that.
Yeah, just cheers to dudes, huh? How about it? It was just nice. And then when it comes to the Rhea stuff, like I'm always going to be a Rhea guy. I love Rhea, not just in large part because she just embodies herself after Chris Motionless, and that makes my heart happy. But yeah, we got what, like 3-4 weeks till Mania, and they haven't done anything with her and Charlotte till now. That's kind of dumb. So
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks?
Exactly.
2 weeks, yes.
2 weeks from today.
All right. Yeah, they waited a tad bit long to actually do something. Hopefully Rhea wins. I think that's kind of the direction we're going. And I will be very okay with that. But yeah, they waited far too long. There's not enough build for this. I know SP3 touched on it earlier, potentially being the night one main event. There's not enough, especially after last night's show. I think everybody knows what should be the main event of night one. And hopefully they,
Cody already told us that they're doing night 2.
Well, no, he said Cody and Roman is doing night 2, of course.
Yeah, that's what he said. We already know who's doing night 2. He said it. He said April 2nd. Yeah. He keeps saying it. So we clearly know that.
But it should. That's the biggest match.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, if they wanted to have like all of the Bloodline stuff take place on one night and have Sami and KO against the Usos open night 2, that's a fine consolation. But I think that
they open and close. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I can see it.
So that would be a fine consolation, especially if they want to have that entire story, end in one night together. That's fine. I understand that. But at the same time, those 4 have earned a main event spot. So however they do it, it's going to be great regardless, but I would like to see them get a main event spot.
So I know, Krssi, you've been critical of how long it's taken to get to the hug with Sami and KO. What did you think about the segment and them finally reuniting? And do you think that there's been any lost steam or momentum for this story after, the last month of it kind of dragging a bit before we get to this key moment here?
The segment itself was very finally it happened. Great, it took us this long to get here when we knew Kevin Owens was the one that was just dragging his feet. You like him, you love him. Stop it. You're the one that's trying to play hard to get. Please stop. But no, I don't think it's gonna take from the momentum that is. I mean, it just took us long. But I think that's just WWE. They try to drag it as long as possible. But with this story, you kind of had to be critical because you kind of had us in limbo and we didn't know what really was going to happen. So with that ending, like Jared said, it was cute. And then proud Cody was in the back. I feel like he should have did this, they did it, guys. Yay.
Should have done the Cody face. The Cody cry face.
Yeah, the Cody cry face. You know it. Exactly, SP. You know it. That's what was missing from that from yesterday. But yeah, no. Can we just talk about how Jay is the main vocal point of this whole operation? He's the main factor of this whole thing. When he started in the pandemic, when it was just him by himself doing the work, and look at where he is now. Wow, my God, if him and Sammy's segment was great. And then Sami playing mind games, trying to make him no, you want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. That's my family. I'm not doing that. Yes, you do. You don't. You're a low-key hater and you want the spotlight. Don't do that. That's crazy.
I love Jay was awesome. Jay was awesome.
Yeah, Jay is the work. Jay is the
I love his reaction to what Sami said, was just punching him in the face because he knew Sami was right. He knew Sami was right, that he wanted to be the one to betray Roman. And the fact that Sami kind of took his shine or kind of was the only one that had the balls to fight against Roman Reigns, that got to him. That's the reason why he was really mad and why he was conflicted for all those weeks. We got Nate Milton, the good brother from NWA Podcast, in the chat. He says, good morning, fam. You see our guy, Cody Devontae Rhodes, out here ending racism, giving sermons, and repairing relationships. We don't deserve that man. Cody Devontae Rhodes. He is the modern day Martin Luther King. Martin Luther Cody Rhodes. Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
Did I miss an in joke where Cody's middle name is Devontae?
Yeah, that's his name. Ever since he ended racism, his middle name is Devontae. It's been Devontae. It's gotcha. Cody Devontae Rhodes. Will Chisholm says Cody stops racism, and now he got friends back together. What a hero! God bless you, Cody.
Did anyone
Civil
see
rights
the
league.
did anyone catch on to, like, you know, Cody saying, hey, when I left this company, you, friend, introduced me to some other people that, you know,
The Young
or
Bucks.
whatever helped
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what? Look at this. I was like, the foreshadowing. Like, look at what
I like the subtle way he breaks that up in promos now. Me and my friends were told we couldn't sell out a 10,000 seat arena. You introduced me to some friends that helped me out. It's like everybody knows who you're talking about. You just skiing under. It's like he's going through like a bank vault and he's going through the red lines. Like that's what Cody is doing with his promos.
Yes.
It's great stuff. I love
And then
it.
Michael Cole tunes in like he did at Crown Jewel whenever he said Bullet Club and just starts talking about AEW for 10 minutes until Wade Barrett like pushes his off button. He's like, Jesus Christ, Cole, calm down.
Stop, relax.
He's talking about the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and how they started All Elite Wrestling at All in 2019. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Cole, calm down.
And you know, if it was Pat McAfee, he'd be like, keep going.
Yeah.
That's why they got Wade there to control Cole a little bit.
Yeah.
We got Safet who says Women's Royal Rumble winners will always main eventing WrestleMania. That's in fact false. Asuka didn't. The first ever Women's Royal Rumble winner did not. Charlotte Flair, when she won in 2020, she did not. Ronda Rousey last year did not. Like the list goes on and on. If you've had other Women's Royal Rumble winners not main event, you can't reinvent the wheel now and just say, oh no, yeah, always the Women's Royal Rumble winner, they're guaranteed the main event. That's not the problem here. If Rhea had won and they had booked this feud like a main event, then it's no question, it's no problem. But they have not. They haven't even built it. They've only had 3 segments together, and we're going on 3 months since we knew this match was happening. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And this is not the same regime. This is not the same regime that did Sasha and Bianca. Sasha and Bianca's build-up sucked and was more about Reggie than it was about the two first African-American women that main evented WrestleMania. This one makes Sasha and Bailey look like a decent feud, though. Like it's just so careless, and so we all should have expected better from this new regime. Triple H was supposed to be this great savior of women's wrestling, and he's done jack and shit to build up both women's title feuds.
Yeah,
it's just that.
I agree. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Yeah,
it's just that. It's just sad. That's all I say. We got Will Chisholm who says SP3 Cody cry face breaks me up every time. He really should have cried. Yes, it would have been a nice little cherry on top. It should have been the cherry on top right there. We got Harper even saying Royal Rumble winners in general don't always main event. Sheamus and Daniel Bryan was the opener. Alberto Del Rio versus Edge. Yeah, like I can name a dozen, in fact, a dozen Royal Rumble winners that did not main event WrestleMania. So they can't use that as the excuse now. We also got MCAS who says,
I don't think sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I don't even think that they are even conscious of like, oh, let's make that a thing. Like they're not even thinking about it. I don't even think it's like on their mind. It's not even on their radar to like, oh yeah, let's make that person main event. No, they don't care.
Yeah, let's talk about that just a little bit here, as there was reports this week in regards to what WWE is thinking or speculating in regards to the Night 1 WrestleMania main event. There has been a lot of talk and speculation about what will headline and what should headline WrestleMania 39 Night 1 in Hollywood on April 1st, and Dave Meltzer provided an update in the new issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, writing, "It appears to be official at this point that the 2 WrestleMania main events will be Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley on April 1st, which will also include Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, and it will be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes on April 2nd. We had reported weeks back that Reigns versus Rhodes was the Night 2 main event, and that Flair versus Ripley was favored to be the Night 1 main event. When we had asked about the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn headlining Night 1, since at the time Zayn was the company's hottest babyface character, we were told that there were political reasons in play to where Flair and Ripley would most likely get that spot. It's not clear that the Usos matchup will be on Night 1, but when the original idea idea was to create a second world title with Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes in play. This would have been Cody Rhodes if The Rock was facing Roman Reigns as the three people considered for it. That was going to be the night one main event, but it became the women's match when that idea fell by the wayside. At that point, the Usos title defense was scheduled for night one. Fightful Select provided a further update saying that the political reason at play is related to WWE wanting to have a women's match as the main event of night one of WrestleMania 39 because there was no women's main event last year at WrestleMania 38 due to Stone Cold coming back on night one, main eventing that show, and Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar main eventing night two. I think we kind of addressed the issue here is that, well, I've been saying the issue from the beginning. Rhea shouldn't have picked Charlotte Flair. I think nobody would be complaining or saying anything about this if it was Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, because that was the layup to end all fucking layups, Triple H, that you should have booked. You had two of the two women that you have saw that you were like, they were like your own babies in the Performance Center come up together. They were basically like a female rockin' Stone Cold, and you had it in your hands and you decided to shoot from the fucking half court line and say, no, let's do Charlotte and Rhea again because they didn't do it right 3 years ago. That's all the reason that this is going on, is because Triple H always said, oh, Rhea should have beat Charlotte 3 years ago. So that's why I got to do it now. Jarrett, what do you think about this whole situation with this night one main event and the political reasons being used as the main reason why Charlotte and Rhea Ripley seems to be the likely candidate for the WrestleMania main event? We should also note that Fightful Select said that it's not a guarantee that that's going to be it, that they're still talking about it, but it seems like a lot of people are saying that Charlotte and Rhea should be the main event due to what happened last year.
Yeah, no, it's dumb. If you're gonna make a women's match a main event, don't do it just because you feel like you have to. Give it a build and make it worth being in the main event spot, not just because, all right, well, we didn't do one last year, I guess we kind of have to this year. One, that's stupid for your card in the way that the card's set up, and two, it discredits the performers. So like, if you know that you want to do it because you didn't last year, that's fine, but give it a build worth being in a main event spot. And yeah, doing Rhea Charlotte, I don't know, man. Like, Rhea Bianca would have been better, and now it feels like Bianca's going to beat Asuka too, which also bothers me because I want Asuka to win, and I'm kind of tired of it's becoming Bianca wins all. Yeah, I'm just kind of tired of champion Bianca. I kind of want something different. So yeah, Rhea Bianca would have been perfect. It would have been perfect to be able to, one, end a really good Bianca reign. That's fine, but give it to Rhea and then have Asuka Charlotte and have Asuka beat Charlotte because everybody would really enjoy that. So yeah, it's very much reversed right now. But no, I'm sure the match is going to be good regardless because both of them are good. Especially if Rhea Ripley's played out by Motionless in White. That would be, Jarrett would like that. I think that's all I'm hoping for this match, is that Rhea gets played out by Motionless in White. If that happens, like, in my own selfish brain, I don't give a damn what else happens. That's fine. I want to see Motionless in White at WrestleMania.
He's like, I'm ready for this matchup now. It don't matter what's happened.
I don't care where it's out of the card. If I see my, hopefully, father of my children one day, Chris Motionless, playing out Rhea Ripley, I'm happy. I don't care.
Krssi Luv, I know you are a proponent for, more women opportunities, but you've also been very critical of the build-up to both women's matches. What do you think about the possibility of Charlotte and Rhea headlining night one?
The worst thing you could do is put a match at the ending and then everyone, either one leaves or not even giving their all and paying attention. It's going to be late, and you don't want to put those people in that predicament where people are now at the end and it's like, okay, like, now we gotta, should I sit here or should I get to the parking lot? Like, which one is it? Like, it's that case where you haven't built it, so we don't really care, and it's like, okay, well, you put that last, okay, that's when I'm going to make my exit so I can get out even faster because the parking lot is going to be trash.
Well, since it's in Los Angeles, they'll probably, if it starts at like 8 Eastern time, it'll start at 5 Pacific. So, I mean, it won't be too terribly late for the people in Los Angeles.
Oh, yes,
so
that's
so they
true.
kind of,
You're right.
they should be fine.
Yeah.
That's you're right. You're right. Well, they still have some time to like hang out and do things. Okay.
Yeah, they still
Never mind.
have
But
an
still,
entire
I
night
don't.
ahead of them, really.
Yeah, that's true. They can go out and have some fun after.
Exactly.
They can. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You're because it is in the West Coast. It's just that I hate for it to be a match where it's now where people are not paying attention and people are at the bathroom or people just really don't care about something where these girls are now working and now they have to work harder to keep the crowd like in tune. Like
sort of like
why should they like?
Was it what Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns where people started leaving in the middle of the match to beat traffic?
Yeah,
right.
I was there. I was there in Newark.
Were you?
Yes, I was there in Newark when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I went for free, ladies and gentlemen, because I was going to pay for that show. But yes, we got Vala B who says one thing THH crew and chat do is that we always keep that same energy. Yes, I am not criticizing Triple H for not the same things that I always criticize Tony Khan for. It's do better. We expect better. And I always like to do is judge these bookers on their other work, not judge them in comparison to someone else. Because I think that Triple H has been getting by on the fact that he's just better than Vince at this. That's a very fucking low bar, ladies and gentlemen. Stop doing that. You are handicapping him by judging him against someone who obviously did not want to do the job the past decade and a half. Like that old man, it was okay to compare Triple H to him in his first 3 months, in his first 4 months. We're going on 9 freaking months of Triple H in charge. Let's base it on the 10 years that he booked NXT, and he did a lot better with the women's division then than he's doing right now.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all I'm saying. We got Negro Buck who says he says should have been Rhea versus Bianca. Man, I'm gonna get that on a t-shirt. I wish I was still going to WrestleMania because I would wear that to WrestleMania. Should have been Rhea versus Bianca. That would have been my shirt.
You're not going anymore?
No. I can't. Stuff didn't work out too well for me to go, so not this year, but maybe next year for Philly. We got.
I'm absolutely going to Philly. That's too close for me to not go.
Yeah. Like that's no issue as far as like family. I can go there and then come back in the same night, so that's fine. Vala B says, "LOL Bianca wins and get to LOL Cena wins levels pretty quickly if you don't catch it." Yeah, that's why this was the year to do Rhea beating Bianca for the championship. But based on how they've booked Bianca versus Asuka, which is, I don't know how it's possible, but that is a worse buildup than Rhea and Charlotte. That is a worse build-up than Rhea and Charlotte. It's mind-boggling.
Raw is watching Raw was hard to watch their segment because it's really disappointing. On like, we clearly know that these wasn't the right opponents for each person, and these girls are just trying to make lemons out of lemonade, and they're trying to do their best at what they can to make this build for this big night, and it's just it's very, very flat. It's flatlining fast. And I don't know how or what they're probably just going to have to give us great matches because other than that, the build up to it, it's horrible. And now who's going to win each one? Well, that's another thing too.
That's a whole nother thing. Speaking of WrestleMania, a bunch of plans has been reported on over the week. According to a new report from WrestleVotes, 2 4-way matches, as we talked about on SmackDown, that had the qualifying, are set to be added to the WrestleMania 39 card this year. There will be 1 for women, 1 for men. While the women's match is unknown at this time, it's believed the men's match will include the Viking Raiders versus Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. As previously reported, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler have been planned to be involved in the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match at WrestleMania 39 next month. However, due to a change in plans, the 6-woman tag between Damage Control and Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch, the tag titles came into question, although at one point it was still planned that the champions would just end up having 2 matches on the 2-night card. Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer has provided an update reporting that while the title match is now off the show, Rousey is set to compete at WrestleMania and expected in a different matchup, which will probably be this WrestleMania showcase stuff. But man, like, make it for something. Make these matches for something. They just feel like filler fucking matches. It's the same as the old filler battle royals, the Andre the Giants that they used to have.
Bro, do those instead if you're gonna do one. Like, at least make some trophy up that, yeah, it'll be forgotten after the night, but it'll at least be worth fighting for. Like, now if the winners get like a tag title shot, cool, that's fine. But just to have it, that's dumb. That's dumb.
Yeah, like they didn't even spend like 30 seconds to explain what the WrestleMania showcase matches were on SmackDown. They just said,
especially with like the women's tag, because it's just going to be a bunch of Franken teams that people who have never worked together before. Just like, all right, yeah, you're not doing anything. Go team with her for a prize that doesn't exist. Why not? That's dumb.
I can see it being, because you got Raquel and Liv now. I can see Ronda and Shayna in that. Then you got Carmella and Chelsea Green have been aligned over the last couple of weeks.
I love Chelsea Green though. She kills me.
She's great. She's great.
Funny.
She's actually great. And I would say probably Candice LeRae and Nikki Cross. Probably that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't need to see Ronda Rousey in a professional wrestling ring again. I'm very much like anti Ronda Rousey wrestling, and it doesn't do anything for me. So that's where I'm at with all of this. I'm just tired of seeing Ronda Rousey, I think.
Well, I mean, hopefully for y'all, Rousey will take some time off after WrestleMania 30.
Or not a lot of time off. A lot of time. Maybe some permanent time. Go back to UFC. That's another thing that really bothers me. And I've said it before, how like when UFC fighters become not good at UFC, they just decide to go to pro wrestling. That just annoys me,
Yeah, that's usually how it works. I mean, if you can't do one thing, you got to get your check somehow.
I mean, I guess so, but there's just been so many. The Maria Shafir's another one, right, where she just kind of came over, and yeah, I've seen her matches. They're not great.
No, Marina Shafir, no.
There was one in AEW. Oh, what the hell was her name? Is it Paige Van Zant?
Yes.
She kicks ass. I like her. She was cool. What happened to Paige Van Zant?
She was good.
Question. Where's Paige Van Zant?
There we go. Paige Van Zant, please come back. Please come back. Please come back. We got in the chat, Chris saying I didn't like Ronda Rousey. I don't think a lot of people seem to.
No, I think that's a popular opinion. She's got major go away heat. At least with me.
So with most it seems.
Okay.
Final news coming out of SmackDown before SmackDown this week. Earlier this week, the big talk around wrestling was about Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is reportedly off the road due to a physical issue. Wyatt was not part of Sunday's WWE live event in Madison Square Garden, and Fightful Select reports that sources within WWE who have worked with Wyatt are saying that he's sidelined with the issue. WWE Creative was told that Wyatt was out due to illness, and Wyatt had been scheduled for other live events and SmackDown tapings, but was pulled off due to the issues. Wyatt is currently feuding with Bobby Lashley, which seemed to be headed toward a WrestleMania match. Lashley has appeared on WWE TV to continue that feud, though Wyatt has not. The site notes that Wyatt and Uncle Howdy materials have been brought to SmackDown each week, but haven't been used for the last 2 episodes of SmackDown, and Wyatt was reportedly not planned for creative on those shows and is not scheduled for Raw. He was also not at a recent WWE live events or TV, nor was he on the internal rundown for the Madison Square Garden show. Lashley was also not scheduled for Monday's Raw as of one point this past weekend, and there were rumors floating around online that Wyatt was having creative issues with WWE, though one source has denied such is the case. Dave Meltzer reported details on the situation on Tuesday's edition of Wrestling Observer Radio. According to Meltzer, the prospective WrestleMania 39 match between Bobby Lashley and Bray Wyatt is still on, quote unquote, for the event, and Wyatt is reportedly expected to return very soon, quote unquote. Meltzer noted that he was told the issue with Wyatt was not a creative issue or anything like that, but it's just very strange. It's just very strange things going on with Bray Wyatt at the moment. A lot of people uncertain if he's even going to be on the WrestleMania card at this point. Miss Krssi Luv, what do you think about Wyatt being out with this reported illness, and do you think he's going to have a match at WrestleMania 39 this year?
To be honest, it's not looking very good that he will have one. I mean, like, if he's out now and then like there's no build to like him being against, like, what kind of a match would it be? Like, what's happening? Like, what are we expecting to happen? Like, where's the mind games? Like, if he's ill, like, I don't expect anything to happen for Bobby Lashley. He's gonna have to sit this WrestleMania out.
I mean, we haven't got any progression of the Bray Wyatt, Bobby
No.
Lashley. Like, for a couple of weeks,
Like
they were
2
just
weeks
having
ago. Yeah.
they were having Lashley on the show to keep it going, but they're not even doing that anymore. Jarrett, what have you thought about Wyatt's return since coming back in October, and what do you think about this whole situation now?
Man, I've always been like a Bray Wyatt guy, and always like enjoyed his creativity and whatnot. But at this point, like it's not good, is it?
It's not good.
Not good. Like I saw somebody, I think it was Ollie Davis, who said that Bray Wyatt's like too creative. That made me laugh really hard. He's like, yeah, he's probably like leaving like little Easter eggs that like the most eagle-eyed of fans will go back in 2 years and find and be like, oh wait, that's what that was going towards. Like, yeah, but sometimes you need to make things a little bit more like just get to the point.
Yes.
And he's a fantastic talker, and like I get his in the ring stuff, man. I can't tell you the last Bray Wyatt match that was good. It's just it's not.
What? Damn.
Like
So
he can never just have like a normal match. It always has to be, you know, a black like pitch black match or whatever the hell that was called. Where they
didn't like it?
were both. No, they were when they were running around looking like big old like fleshlights or whatever. Like that wasn't good.
You're the only person who liked it, Krssi. Like,
I know.
You ask this every week.
Oh, you genuinely liked it?
I loved it. I thought it was actually pretty funny and dope.
Oh,
I loved the lights. I loved all the aesthetics about it. And I was high, so it was great, you know.
No, like just say you were high. You should have led with that. Led with that.
I still like it. I said what I said. I stand by it. I don't care.
Have you ever watched it sober? Have you ever watched it sober?
Yeah. And I still have the same reactions.
Okay.
Like it always has to be
the end
like...
part where he jumps with the other person jumps off the thing. That part I don't agree with. Once it's from
the bell where Bo Dallas completely missed where he was supposed to hit. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Everything else before that was great. After
Our boy
that part,
separated his shoulder probably.
Like for real. Like what are we doing?
It's like it always has to be with Bray. It always has to be okay, a pitch black match or a Firefly Funhouse match, or we'll do a Hell in a Cell match, but we're gonna make the entire arena red. Like, just make him fucking wrestle. He's done it before, and it's fine. Like Jesus.
It's true.
Or at WrestleMania, we'll have the arena be red, and Alexa Bliss will come out of a giant fucking Jack in the Box with black shit spewing out of her face. Why not? Yeah, like dude. Just
that sounds cool. And I was just saying, where the hell is Alexa Bliss? I said that yesterday as I was watching SmackDown. I'm like, did we lose her? Like, what happened to her?
No one has survived this Wyatt vortex except
I was gonna
LA
say
Knight.
the every character in the Bray Wyatt cinematic universe is going through some very big changes right now. Poor everybody.
It seems like poor everybody. Yep.
Great comment here by King of the North, who says Jeff Jarrett, Kenji Muda, Bray Wyatt, finessers of the year. Yes. Bray Wyatt, man, when you really break it down and look at it from afar, this dude comes back to the great return at Extreme Rules, full of QR codes, white rabbits and stuff. Yep. This dude got the big check to come back. He got the big ass check to come back. He talked his nonsense, made everybody believe that he was going to have this more nuanced character where he's battling himself. Then it turns into a feud with LA Knight. This guy wrestles once for 5 minutes in a soda match in a laser tag. And now he's at home getting rested up and recovering from an illness. Kevin Nash is looking at this whole thing and he's like, that guy's the GOAT. Mm-hmm. That guy's the GOAT. I wish I could have worked that schedule.
He's going to find a way to try to like have a match of like cult leader Bray Wyatt, Fiend Bray Wyatt, Husky Harris, and like a triple threat match and try to make that work. With Uncle Howdy as special guest ref.
Absolutely. Uncle Howdy as a special guest. King of the North said, had to be high to enjoy that.
Right. I was about to say, these ideas are what? When you're high? Oh my God. Great stuff, guys. I can't wait to see what we get for WrestleMania.
Yeah, this is the thing I don't like is that people can deep dive into Bray Wyatt lore and find the QR codes and everything, but can't watch a Vikingo video package. This is a sad world that we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. Sad world, because it's the same people. It's literally the same people that be like, who? Where's the story? And then they're into this Wyatt lore stuff. It's crazy.
That is dumb. I always hate when people do like the whole who, but like what would you rather have happen? Like somebody cool like Vikingo, or like, oh my goodness, Madcap Moss? Like, shut the fuck up.
Like,
Boots.
Have a seat.
Rick boobs.
Over on Monday Night Raw this week, they did 1.705 million viewers. The show featured Solo Sikoa beating Kevin Owens in a street fight main event, thanks to the Usos after KO asked for Cody Rhodes to not get involved. Speaking of Cody Rhodes, he defeated LA Knight earlier in the show. Post-match, Rhodes cut a spirited promo, wanting Roman Reigns to acknowledge him ahead of WrestleMania. Later in the show, Paul Heyman announced that Roman will appear on next week's edition of Monday Night Raw. You also had Edge challenge Finn Balor to a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania 39, which he accepted. And then the Judgment Day beat Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano in tag team action. I heard that noise, Jared. You didn't sound pleased of Edge challenging Finn Balor to Hell in a Cell.
Bro, how long have we been doing this feud? It's not even a feud. It's Edge wins at the pay-per-view. Finn has to eat a pin, or Damian Priest eats a pin. For some reason, Edge comes out and is like, "Oh, we're not done yet." And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, do something else. There's a whole other roster for you to work with, dude. Come on now. Like,
he keeps saying, "And time is not up," but you're with the same person. Like, come.
And
like,
apparently, we have to have like the now annual mixed tag match where Edge and Beth Phoenix team up, as if anybody gives a shit about that happening. Like, it's so fucking dumb and played out. And look, I like Edge. I like Edge a lot. This is stupid. And if Finn doesn't win at WrestleMania, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yes, same. Yeah,
I
agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's even sadder when you think about that. Rhea Ripley, since winning the Royal Rumble, she's only had 2 matches. None of them have been on Monday Night Raw. Her actual brand. She's had 3 matches now, because she had the match last night, the mixed tag
last night,
beating Zelina Vega and Santos Escobar on SmackDown. She had a match with Liv Morgan, also on SmackDown, and then the other match was her and Finn Balor losing to the new up and coming talent, Edge and Beth Phoenix.
The plucky upcomers known as Edge and Beth Phoenix.
What is going on? What is going on?
So dumb. So dumb.
What are we doing? Get it together.
Like I said, I love Edge. Don't get me wrong. It's just give him something else to do that isn't this, and give Finn Balor something else to do that isn't this, because he's so much better than this stupidity. So is Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, for that matter.
This has been going way too long. It's already hit the expiration date already. We got in the chat, yes, King of the North. He says LA Knight taking 2 losses in the same week. SP3 in hell. Yes, my boy, man. What are they doing to him?
He's good, man.
He's really good.
He fits that role so well, and like he's getting genuine reactions where people are happy to see him. Good for him.
Absolutely. Come on, give some love to LA Knight. Speaking of which, a report has
his thing with Rey Mysterio last night was great too.
I want somebody to call him Eli Drake. I feel like that would be really funny.
It should have been Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods should have been the person to do that in that promo.
He calls him Eli Drake, and then LA Knight calls him Consequences Creed. Go back and forth with all of their TNA stuff. That would kill me.
So there was a report earlier this week talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin being pitched matches for WrestleMania 39. As previously reported, WWE had previously pitched matches to Austin for WrestleMania, including Brock Lesnar last summer and a possible fight with Roman Reigns. Austin had turned down the Lesnar match due to money, while he reportedly didn't get back to WWE about the matchup with Roman Reigns. According to Fightful Select, WWE sources believe that he is open to the possibility of a match for the right situation and the right money because he's a worker, and it was noted that WWE has made additional pitches to appear on the show for Austin, though not necessarily for marquee matches. The site confirms that LA Knight has been pitched, though no one has been what? Good. To verify that the match is happening.
Man, that's gonna be so good.
A report by Sports Illustrated has some additional details on the scrapped Lesnar versus Austin matchup and some other plans for Lesnar at WrestleMania 39 that fell through. According to Sports Illustrated, the initial plan for Lesnar at WrestleMania was a matchup with Bobby Lashley. However, that matchup was then moved to Elimination Chamber 2023 to leave a slot open for Austin versus Lesnar at WrestleMania 39. That plan was then scrapped since Austin couldn't come to terms with WWE on the matchup. A matchup between Lesnar and Bray Wyatt was then reportedly discussed before being genocided by Lesnar himself, while Gunther was another option for Lesnar. Sports Illustrated's report notes that there is an internal belief that within WWE that Gunther needs another year of further establishing and cementing himself before he can face a star of Lesnar's caliber. After the other plans fell through or were scrapped, Brock Lesnar was matched up against Omos for WrestleMania 39. That last part about the Gunther, saving Gunther for a year, pretty much tells me that Omos is just here to lose to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 33. I don't know about y'all, but that's what that says to me.
That's fine.
I didn't even need that, but I didn't even need to hear that. We already knew that was going to happen. Like Brock doesn't he'll lose to certain people, but it's kind of thing where.
God.
No, if they're gonna do that, I want a big guy gauntlet for Brock. Like have Omos and then have like Kali and have just a bunch of just tall dudes come out and Brock just eats them. That would be fine. If you're gonna do anything, just make it stupid and fun. You might as well. Cowboy Brock. That's what Cowboy Brock is. It's just stupid fun, and he's gonna eat people head first.
That's why I kind of wanted to see Cowboy Brock react to the Bray Wyatt nonsense. I was kind of here. I was kind of here for it. I was kind of here for that in comparison to my zero interest in Brock versus Omos.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
I have zero interest in that whatsoever. We also got King of the North who says Brock saw a big black guy black man backstage and said, "I'm beating all the others. Give me him."
Wow.
Jesus.
No,
he was like, "I'll take the tall one this time." I already ended all the other ones' title reigns.
If I put this on my face right now, the emoji I'd be like this. Ugh. That's crazy, King.
It took me a minute to get that joke, but then I remembered Kofi and Big E. So never mind.
Big E, Bobby Lashley. He ended all three of their WWE title reigns.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I get the joke now. That was pretty good.
Trying to make it 4 for 4, ladies and gentlemen. 4 for 4. Big stages, beating up black people. Black History Month. Keep going. But what do you guys think? I think I can see Austin coming back as like a surprise. Like they have a segment with him and LA Knight. Like LA Knight, the whole thing has been, you can't have a LA WrestleMania without LA Knight. I can see him trying to hijack, and then Austin comes out and they have like a confrontation with each other.
That's fine.
Austin and The Rock. That was the big swerve we're waiting on. It's not that The Rock's going to face Roman. It's that he's going to face Stone Cold again.
Boom.
Wow.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
Talk about expectations now.
Great expectations, ladies and gentlemen, right there. We got Chris saying congratulations to Omos getting married this year. Yeah, I saw that announcement. Yeah, congratulations. I'm happy for him.
Good for him.
Oh yeah,
this woman.
King of the North also bringing up he ended The Rock's title reign as well. So he's going for 5 for 5. He's going for a 5 for 5, ladies and gentlemen.
I forgot about WWE champion in the 2010s, The Rock. That was a thing that happened, isn't it?
This was actually during Brock's first run when he beat him in 2002. So yeah.
Oh, good lord!
Yes, even further back than that. And I think Frantic World asking Brock beat Bobby how many times? Well, he beat him in the elimination chamber that Bobby just kind of got escorted out of, and then he beat him at Crown Jewel, and then he kicked him in the balls to end their feud. Yes, that was the end of the feud. He kicked him in the balls. He's like, the winner has to face Bray Wyatt. I'm gonna kick you in the balls.
Yes, sayonara.
Fuck up out of here. I'm not dealing
Oh
with
God, that is so funny.
Fuck that.
It's like, no. ESPN reported this week that the Great Muta is set to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2023. The announcement was made by Ric Flair on Wednesday's episode of The Bump. Muta has never appeared for WWE, but he has wrestled for WCW, which is now currently owned by WWE, and he also regularly competed for NJPW, Pro Wrestling Noah, and more. Congratulations to the Great Muta for that honor. Also in news, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, reports is that there are rumors first reported by Worked Wrestling of a match for Trish Stratus at this year's SummerSlam. The rumor is that Stratus will turn heel at some point, maybe even at WrestleMania 39, and face Becky Lynch at this year's SummerSlam. It was noted that there were rumors of a heel turn for Trish before she came back to TV, but the only thing confirmed by a source is that there are going to be twists and turns coming for the story. Are you here for Trish Stratus turning heel and facing Becky Lynch at SummerSlam this year, Miss Krssi Luv?
I mean, I would prefer Bailey, but okay, whatever. Sure. I mean,
yeah,
okay.
I feel the same way. I think I'm kind of worn out by Becky Lynch too. Is that weird?
I've been saying this. I've been saying this, ladies and gentlemen.
He has been. I personally don't want to see Becky and Trish. Give me Bailey the whole, because they really don't have a story. Like, why are we doing this?
And I always feel like with these legends, it's always a tough sell trying to turn them heel.
Yeah,
you saw what happened with Edge.
Trish.
Like Edge went through the same thing, and he's like 10% as likable as Trish. Trish is like 110% satisfaction and 100% likable in comparison to Edge. And Edge had the hardest time trying to get booed. Remember when he had to cut all those promos about you people, you smell, and you're not good, you're horrible. We're the Judgment Day. We're supposed to be spooky, but we're cutting you people promos. It was horrible. Don't do that to Trish, please don't.
Yeah, no one's gonna want to boo Trish. I don't think anybody is gonna boo Trish, to be honest. Like they can take the heel all she wants.
Right. Yeah. What is the point of us making her heel? Because when she comes back in like 10 months or whatever, a year or two, they're going to cheer her. They're not going to boo her. They're going to forget about her for her doing whatever she did.
I agree. I don't know.
If they're gonna do it, do Bailey, because I don't know. I'm way more into Bailey than I am Becky Lynch right now.
But you can build up more around Bailey, and they've had like confrontations back to back where they can easily have an easy match. Like, okay, then fight me then. Come on. Like, do that. Like certain things like that. Like, okay, like you could do this tag match. I mean, the 3-on-3 match or whatever. And then SummerSlam, do like Bailey. Like Trish should stay face.
I totally agree there, but we'll see how this all transpires as we go on the road to WrestleMania and then afterwards as well. As previously reported, there was a stir online last week when news surfaced that WWE Executive Chairman of the Board, Vince McMahon, was backstage at Monday Night Raw. It was his first time backstage at a WWE event since retiring from the company in July 2022. And Sports Illustrated had a new report with more details on McMahon's backstage appearance. According to Sports Illustrated, multiple people who were backstage at the March 6 show in Boston said that McMahon purposely stayed out of the way during the event. While McMahon's presence was notable, he reportedly made a point of making sure people noticed that he wasn't trying to get involved actively with the show. SportsIllustrated.com also notes that McMahon was visibly front and center throughout the show, sitting front and center between Bruce Pritchard and Triple H in the gorilla position, and it was first reported that McMahon was staying in the gorilla position all night and wasn't seen giving out orders by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. The SportsIllustrated.com report adds that McMahon did not wear a headset and he spent most of the night on his cell phone. When wrestlers would go over to Triple H for feedback regarding a segment, it was said that McMahon would hardly even register the conversation or raise his head, not offering any input of his own. So it appears he did keep his appearance low key. The report also states that McMahon was not backstage at Raw in Providence, Rhode Island this week, and Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso speculated that McMahon's appearance backstage could be a strategy by McMahon, seeing his recent move as his recent return as a chess move and more than just a backstage visit to John Cena, which was the story going around backstage during the show. Barrasso says that McMahon definitely had a motive for the appearance, which he thinks is a long-term plan on McMahon's part. He also expects McMahon to be backstage again at the WWE Raw before WrestleMania 39. Jarrett, we haven't seen you in quite some time. What have you thought about all this mess with Vince McMahon returning to the company in January and, of course, his backstage appearance at Raw last week?
Yeah, CM Punk was right. Remember that when he was asked about that at a press conference, and he's like, yeah, just because he's, he says he's gone or whatnot, his fingerprints will still be on it. And would you look at, what? That's what I'm noticing more and more as time goes on is, yeah, Phil Brooks might be kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, but more often than not, he's right. And that's what I'm noticing. No, not
9 out of 10 chances, yes, he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be right, but unfortunately, he really is. He might be a lot of things, but one thing he's not going to do is really lie.
Yeah.
And if Vince is just there, like, I don't believe that he's just there to say hi to John Cena. Like, you can do that in several different ways, several different places. But now, if people are saying that he was actually, not being hands-on or whatnot, that's good for now until he gets that. It's Vince McMahon. Eventually, if he continues to be backstage at different events and whatnot, eventually he's gonna. I don't believe for a second that he's not gonna be hands-on. So for now, we'll see. I'm just keep him away. Keep him away.
People are actually enjoying WWE right now. This is like the worst thing that
which is weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to say out loud, isn't it? Because it is a long stretch.
It was a very long stretch. CF saying he does lie. Let's not. Yes. Vince always lies. Vince gets what he wants and he lies. Those are two things that are like death and taxes. It's always.
But that's what I meant. Like, we're talking about Vince McMahon lying, not the other guy. Like, we're talking. That's what we were saying.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Vince is a born liar. That's how he got ahead in life. WWE NXT this week, they did 590,000 viewers. The show featured a home invasion, ladies and gentlemen, as Grayson Waller attempted to go to Johnny Gargano's house, leading to a brawl between the two men in Johnny Wrestling's front yard as his damn wife, Candice LeRae, and his son, Quill. His son, Quill, who's 1 year old and up at 9 p.m. in the evening, ladies and gentlemen. As someone who has three-year-olds that I put to bed by 7 p.m., the reason why this kid was crying is because he got woken up out of his damn sleep for this segment.
You said 3-year-olds? Wait, what?
I mean, I have 2 3-year-olds. I'm sorry. I get.
Right, I'm about to say, wait,
what
happened?
It feels like 3 sometimes.
I was like, y'all sweet. Wait, what?
But they made that child watch his dad get his ass beat as Grayson Waller got the upper hand on Johnny Gargano.
Listen, when Quill gets older, he's not going to be like Dominic and like, "Lo, you didn't bring me with you. You didn't take me." He's clearly there.
Doctor announced that tests on Roxanne Perez after her storyline collapse last week were inconclusive. So Shawn Michaels announced that a new NXT Women's Champion would be crowned at NXT Stand and Deliver. Zoe Stark defeated Sol Ruka, while Gigi Dolan beat Kiana James to qualify for the NXT Women's Championship ladder match. You also had Gallus beat Pretty Deadly in a good matchup to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships, and Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes had their contract signing for their NXT Championship match at Stand and Deliver, ending with the two men putting the host of the show, Pretty Deadly, through a table. I thought this segment was fine, but man, oh man, was this a shit episode of NXT. I will never get back.
So did they just like give up on Johnny Gargano already on the main roster and send him back to NXT? Is that what I missed?
It feels like it. It feels like it. Dumb, yes. This whole show was a bunch of dumb shit. And yes, King of the North, I am recruiting 3-year-olds. If you can help my daughter relax a little bit, you'll be my number 1 draft pick. And he also says HBK, a war criminal. Yes, for making me watch that episode. And I had to review it this week, ladies and gentlemen. I had to review NXT. Frantic World says NXT is a joke. Oh my god. I thought 2.0 was over. What happened?
Yeah, I feel like, you know what it is with NXT too, is it's like background noise. You know how you like cleaning the house, you have like music playing, the TV's running. That's what NXT is. It's just on. It's just there, and no one's really like watching or paying attention. It's just on, and it's not a good thing. It's really a joke. And I sat there and I'm like, I really, and I didn't have anything to do. I really like sat and like watched it. I'm like, what is this show? What has it come to? It has fallen off the rails so badly. We were texting.
Can AEW and WWE do like a trade where like AEW gives WWE like Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and then AEW in return gets Johnny Gargano? I feel like that would be.
And give him Carmelo Hayes as well. Give him Carmelo Hayes as well, so he doesn't have to go to the main roster. And I fear what they would do to him on the main roster.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. King of the North saying it best, saying the backstage segments, especially on NXT, are dying days WCW bad. Yes.
Yes.
That home invasion was WCW dying days bad.
Yep.
As previously reported, Roxanne Perez collapsed following a title match on NXT's Roadblock special last week before being stretchered out. Since then, WWE began the process of crowning a new NXT Women's Champion at Stand and Deliver. Whether or not it is a storyline injury seems up for debate now. Fightful Select reports that there is no injury and Perez is fine. However, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer Radio had a more vague response. He noted that a source said that while hopefully nothing is wrong, there might be a legitimate injury. He said that WWE is to be vague about it until they are completely sure what's going on. I don't know what's going on anymore. Even if she's hurt, she has 30 days to defend the title. Why do we need to crown a new champion? I don't understand any of this.
Why does HBK look like a JBL?
I mean, cowboy hat, getting old, same thing. They're both from Texas, so same difference.
I'm a big fan of Sean wearing a suit with the cowboy hat still. That made me laugh.
This is true. At least he's keeping it consistent. Consistency, we give thumbs up for. NJP,
really? Oh, come on, guys.
NJPW New Japan Cup second round and quarterfinals was this week 2 of the New Japan Cup, and they had a lot of action throughout the last couple of days. You had, in one of the worst matches I saw, Evil beat Jeff Cobb thanks to the House of Torture, while Will Ospreay defeated Mark Davis in an awesome bout, but Ospreay was injured. He had an injured shoulder in the process and had to relinquish his spot in the tournament to Mark Davis. His fellow United Empire mate. Yes. Hopefully it's not an injury that will keep him out long. Yes. Sorry. David Finlay defeated Great Okan, while Shota Umino pulled off an upset over the NJPW World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. in a great main event. This was my favorite matchup of the week when it comes to the New Japan Cup. Mark Davis, back in the tournament, pulled off an upset in the quarterfinals by beating Evil thanks to help from United Empire counteracting House of Torture, while Sonata picked up arguably an upset win over his LIJ leader Tetsuya Naito. But then in a more shocking news, Sonata then announced that he was leaving Los Ingobernables de Japón and joining Taishi, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Doki, and Taka Michinoku in just 4 guys to make them just 5 guys. Yes, they're gonna get a burger deal. They're gonna get the burger deal, ladies and gentlemen. We're booking it right now. Just 5 guys, burger deal.
God,
get it to them. Come on. Then earlier today, you had David Finlay defeated Shoto Umino in the quarterfinals, while Tama Tonga beat Hiroki Goto in the main event to advance in the semifinals. So now we got our final four. Tomorrow is the semifinals. You got Sonata versus Mark Davis. You got Tama Tonga versus David Finlay. And the finals is on Tuesday. So we'll just do rapid fire predictions right now for the semifinals. Krssi Luv, Sonata versus Mark Davis. Who you got?
Sonata.
I agree with you. Sonata. Jarrett, Sonata or Mark Davis?
I don't know, but I'll go Mark Davis.
There you go. Be different. Absolutely. And then you got Tama Tonga versus David Finlay. David Finlay this week is claiming that he's now the leader of the Bullet Club versus one of the Bullet Club originals, Tama Tonga. Who you got, Tama Tonga or David Finlay, Jarrett?
I like David Finlay. I genuinely know who David Finlay is, and that makes me feel pretty good about my knowledge of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I also know who Tama Tonga is, so I'm 2 for 2 when it comes to this match.
Let's go!
So David Finlay's a badass. Apparently these Finlays really love to fight, so I will take Finlay.
I agree with you. David Finlay is literally the thing, the thread keeping my bracket alive, because I pretty much am all out. My finals prediction is out of the running because Tetsuya Naito lost. So David Finlay is the last thread that I had.
This is the only March Madness that SP3 cares about.
Yes, it is. I had him in the finals.
Yes, it is.
So
yep.
David Finlay beats Tama Tonga. Who you got? Tama Tonga, David Finlay, Krssi Luv.
I'm gonna go Finlay. Just because Tonga, he's been winning, but I feel like Finlay would be the one that like really legit needs to win.
So finals. So we both got Sonata versus David Finlay. I'm going with David Finlay to win the whole thing because that was my prediction at the beginning. Who you got, Krssi Luv? Sonata or David Finlay?
Ugh. I'll go Finlay because he beat Will Ospreay.
This is true. He did that last year. I said Finlay. Who you got? Finlay or Mark Davis, Jarrett?
No, David Finlay. Let's just go with the guy that I really know. I don't know too much about Mark Davis. You just say Mark Davis is part of Aussie Open?
Yeah. You called out Aussie Open.
Yeah. I don't know why I had a complete blank on Aussie Open. Yeah, no. I just know that. I think I just know them as a tag team when they're together, not their individual names.
Hey, they've been showing out in their singles.
By the way, no disrespect to Aussie Open. I'm stupid. So apologies to. When I see them in the ring together, I know that yes, that's Aussie Open. I couldn't tell you their names individually. Who's the other one? What's his name?
Kyle Fletcher.
I knew Kyle. Okay. Now it's coming together. So we'll have some representation of.
You could be Kyle Fletcher next time you're on the show if you shave.
Let me look up a picture of Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, I think you could pull it off. That's not a thing.
I feel like such a dick now. I just shat on Aussie Open inadvertently. God damn it.
King of the North saying SP3, have you seen Abel versus Mark Davis yet? Yeah, I saw that yesterday. That was a really good matchup. He says, I think it was one of my favorite matches of the year. Wow. Yeah, it was very much like an attitude era. If you remember, like the McMahon Helmsley regime versus Rock matches, where everybody used to come out and interfere. That's what that match felt like to me. I liked it. It was fun. Negro Buck saying Mark Davis cooking crowns up. He's all for Mark Davis.
I'm so sorry, Mark Davis. I completely just shot a blank on who you were. I'm sorry. So sorry. Oh, by the way, I did. Oh, yeah. Kyle Fletcher. I'm not shaving my face, though. I don't look good. My chin should never see the light of day. I'm quite high. I don't have a good chin.
He's like, I don't have a good chin.
I don't. I could grow out the hair. Don't get me wrong. The hair's no problem. But yeah. The last time I had a completely shaved face, it was like my sophomore year of college, and I didn't like it. So we're not gonna do that again.
No. Wrestling Observer newsletter had some news about New Japan, in particularly the man that we've been talking about for a few months now, Switchblade Jay White. After his deal with NJPW expired last month, he's said to be in talks with both WWE and AEW. Although he has not signed with either company at this time, it is said to be 50-50 on where he ends up going. If you had your choice of where you want to see Jay Wyatt, are you going to say WWE or AEW, Jarrett?
Right now, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him in WWE if they can do something where, like, when AJ Styles gets healthy, if they do like a very obvious Bullet Club. Oh no, they can say Bullet Club now. Michael Cole proved that, so they can talk about Bullet Club with Jay White, Michael, and
It's so true.
AJ
You're right.
Styles, Finn Balor, the Good Brothers. They could do a whole little Civil War thing of the WWE chapter of Bullet Club alumni. I'd be okay with that.
War games.
That would be
so good.
Switchblade teams up with Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows, and AJ, and they jump Cody for trying to take over Bullet Club.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, you sold me. Let's do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Remember, I started this stupid club.
If somehow they're allowed to like wear like Bullet Club merch in WWE and they just start like a WWE chapter of Bullet Club, do it. Absolutely do it.
Switchblade said there is a WWE chapter of Bullet Club. So
there is.
There should be the guy to go.
Yeah, they should do that.
Go. Come on.
That's what I think. I want to see that. Like, and it's not that he wouldn't do well in AEW. I'm sure he would. It's just they're oversaturated right now. Like it's like completely flip-flopped from what it was in 2019, where WWE had way too much talent that they didn't use. Now it's AEW has that same problem. I would rather him go to WWE.
I've been telling this to SP for the longest. He if he goes to the WWE, he has to put it in his contract. If you don't put this in your contract, you are going to be lost in the sauce, friend. Like, I feel like you're going to be like mid-carder instead of like a main event guy. Like, I don't know. You just have to like put it in right.
Don't want to see him on NXT. That's for sure.
Definitely don't want. No, he's going straight. He has to go straight to Raw, not SmackDown. I mean, but you could visit over there. Great, because they're gonna do the back and forth. Then they do the back and forth, whatever. But yeah, you have to put this thing in writing, friend. If you watch us or somebody that knows him, tell him to put it in the contract, because we don't want him to get lost. We don't want it lost.
It's all up to him right now if he wants to sign or not. Just make sure you don't have to go to NXT. New Japan Pro Wrestling also has announced the dates for this year's Best of Super Juniors tournament, which will run from May 12th to the 28th. There will be 12 shows over 16 days. So it's going to be a lot of action over a 2-week period with the Best of the Super Juniors. Calling for Chris Bay in the Best of Super Juniors this year. We got my interview with Chris Bay that's going to be dropping next week right here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. And then finally, with New Japan News, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that at this time, Mercedes Moné has no more dates on her deal with Bushiroad after April. Her last scheduled appearance for Bushiroad is going to be at Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom on April 23rd. If she is still the IWGP Women's Champion by that date and no other dates are scheduled, she will likely lose the belt at that show. If she wins, it likely means she signed a longer deal. Krssi Luv, would you like to see the Mercedes Moné basically excursion in Japan continue past April?
Yeah, I'm here for it. Again, the whole point of her being away is to explore and be in other wrestling companies to do what she loves to do. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at her if she extended it.
I'm here for her with the IWGP Women's title. I mean, she already rocked the red carpet at the Mandalorian premiere. Let's give her more matches to do. She's supposed to be scheduled. Yes, Mandalorian. It's good stuff, man. You should watch. I know you don't watch popular shows. I know.
Yeah, see, you know where I was going. 2? Yeah. Me and Joel Pearl had a whole conversation about that last night on the podcast. It was great.
This guy with his anti-popular shows. You don't watch You either? Come on, you got to watch You.
I watched the first 2 seasons of You. I liked it a lot. I just haven't gone back to watch the rest. I heard that the new one was really good, so I might actually tune into that. There's a select few that I'm into.
Part 2 was.
I'm just also not a Star Wars person, so I don't care.
That's fair. That's fair.
I love Mark Hamill because he's the Joker. That's my Mark Hamill love, not necessarily for Luke Skywalker.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
New York Bucks saying, really hope Mercedes signs a new deal. I still want her to take on Julia. I need her to be at Forbidden Door. Please give me that.
Yeah, that's as long as she's there, and I get. If Mercedes against Jamie Hayter would sell the pay-per-view to me regardless. Like if that's the only match on it, I'd pay whatever it costs.
I'm here for that.
Give them a half hour.
Here versus her.
A half hour.
Her versus Riho, her versus Jade.
Yeah,
Give me
but so
all.
you have you got
If
all
she
of them.
could do like a little tour of AEW just to give us a few matches that everybody wants to see, even like
then
you
leave.
can do Riho in Japan, like that's easy enough to do right there. So yeah, I want to see Mercedes versus Jamie, Mercedes versus Britt. If you want to do Mercedes versus Jade, that's fine. Yeah, I want that. Give me all of it.
I'm here.
Give me what I want.
Give me what I want. Our producer went to a show last night, which we'll talk about very quickly here. GCW Eye for an Eye was in New York City at the Melrose Ballroom, and history was made as Masha Slamovich actually defeated Nick fucking Gage to become the new GCW World Champion.
I love GCW, man.
Masha Slamovich defeated Nick Gage. I had to read that one more time because I thought my eyes were deceiving me when I saw that news earlier today. Matt Cardona beat Homicide. You had Gringo Loco defeated Bandito. You had Joey Janela beat Grim Reaper, and the Time Splitters defeated
was that three
Jordan.
people on one ladder at the same time?
One top rope. Yes.
No.
That was one. No, that was two people. That was two people.
Oh, it's two. Okay. Oh, okay. It looked like it was three. Okay, I'm sorry. Oops.
Looked like it for a moment. And
yeah,
the Time Splitters,
okay, so.
Kushida and Alex Shelley beat Jordan Oliver and Speedball Mike Bailey. That was a great match. I watched that before we went live here. You also on Thursday at ROH TV on Honor Club. The show featured Claudio Castagnoli defeating Willie Mack in a ROH World Championship proving ground. Later in the show, Claudio came out to watch Eddie Kingston versus Jeeves K and got his coffee spilled all over himself by Kingston, who then beat Jeeves. You also had Athena beat Hayana and then challenged Yuka Sakazaki for the ROH Women's World Championship at Supercard of Honor.
How is this the same show that is produced by from a? I don't understand. I'm sorry. I apologize.
They have multiple women's matches. One that shows that it's probably I don't know if Tony Khan just he takes a pill and he's able to book this better than some Dynamites. It seems like. But Dante Martin beat Mike Bennett in a good matchup. You also had Wheeler Yuta defeating Clark Connors in the main event to retain the ROH Pure Championship. And the absolute gall of this young man, post-match, Yuta challenged Kasasori Shibata to a match at ROH Supercard of Honor before the Blackpool Combat Club stood tall to end the show. I know you said you were very happy with this week's ROH TV, Jarrett. What do you think?
Yeah, Blackpool Combat Club just owns Ring of Honor, and that's cool. Like, if there's one thing that I enjoy about Ring of Honor, there's multiple things. It feels kind of like a mixture of what like Prime WCW was, where like it's just like they'll give you a bunch of high flyers and stuff, but like also ECW as well, where it's just fucking visceral sometimes. And I like it. Dante Martin and Mike Bennett had a fucking awesome match in this show. Dante Martin, so he just levitates when he does a frog splash. He like did like an invisible crossover with an invisible basketball between his legs twice before he landed it. I was like, what the dude? It's awesome. So that was one of my favorite matches of the week. Yeah, it was awesome. And Mike Bennett's he had a match. I think Mike Bennett had a match with Darby not that long ago too, didn't he? Where he looked really good. So yeah, shout out Mike Bennett, shout out Dante Martin. And then I guess if they go the route of having Eddie Kingston beat Claudio for the ROH title, oh man, that would make me be very, very happy. I want to see that very bad.
If Eddie beats Claudio. Yes, if Eddie beats Claudio, Supercard of Honor better than WrestleMania. I will go on record and say it.
No way. Okay, stop it. You guys are very dramatic now.
On April 1st, I will say it on that Saturday episode after watching Ring of Honor. I will say it. In some interesting news that somewhat involves Ring of Honor, since their former owner got involved in this, we have an interesting Twitter beef we got to discuss here, as Ric Flair has been beefing with our Uncle Dutch Mantel, Miss Krssi Luv, over the weekend.
I was going to ask you about this. Yeah.
After Mantel criticized Ric Flair's last match, Dutch said that Flair looked like hell during the matchup and that he ripped the fans off. Flair, meanwhile, replied on Twitter and said that Mantel was a miserable old wrestler trying to make a buck. Now Mantell has written an open letter to Flair, noting that he respects the Nature Boy, but doubled down on his take on the match. Dutch has even challenged Ric Flair to have a debate with him live on social media and YouTube for $1 profit, and all the proceeds will go to charity. Flair then said that that Dutch has no business being called a legend, that he's just a veteran. And then former ROH owner Kerry Silken seemed to side with Dutch Mantell and claimed that Ric Flair still owed him $41,000 from unfulfilled ROH appearances he was supposed to make in 2009. Silken noted that he paid Flair up front. He wrote, "Sorry, folks, every word at Dutch Mantell is saying about at Ric Flair is true. Flair owes me $41,000 from not fulfilling 4 at Ring of Honor appearances in 2009. Yes, I was a moron to pay Rick up front. That's my story, and it's sad, but true."
Is Ric Flair? There's no better example of the pot calling the kettle black than Ric Flair calling Dutch Mantell. And well, what did he call him exactly?
An old man trying to make a buck.
That could be the title of Ric Flair's memoir if he wanted it to be. Like, Jesus Christ, I've never liked Ric Flair, man. I don't care. He's just never been. No, I didn't grow up in the heyday of Ric Flair, but he just seems like a miserable old douche.
But he shouldn't be though, because
Team Dutch Mantell here. I
don't know too much about Dutch Mantell. I remember him with Jack Swagger. That's the extent of Dutch Mantell stuff that I have. But he seems fine to me.
Woo the people. That's all I will say. Woo the people. That's all I will say. I stand with Dutch.
Because you speak to him every day, but Ric Flair was a little out of hand ish. Like how old are you guys? Come on, like we still got beef. Like how many years was this? Like,
oh, this is more recent, because I think Dutch was asked about Ric Flair's last match, and he just told the truth. He was like, it was.
He gave his honest opinion.
He gave his honest opinion about it.
Which, by the way, is the general consensus opinion of that last match, which it was dog shit.
Yeah,
He was saying Dutch.
He was being nice.
Yeah, he was being
nice. Because Dutch don't really say much, and then like when you ask him, he'd be like, "Well, like he'll give you a straightforward answer." He answered the question that he was asking. You want him to lie, or you want him to say, "Hey, guy, I called you. I said this after this meeting." Like, no, how do we?
What does Rick expect people to say about him being 73 in a match where he clearly couldn't move? He passed out twice. It was just uncomfortable and not good.
And he faked his heart attack. He faked the heart attack.
Yeah, like that. Like, come on, like really, guys. This is stupid.
What a dope.
Team Dutch all the way. Sorry, I love you, Rick, but come on, you know when your uncles was like.
I don't love you, Rick, and you're just annoying. So that's.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't like Ric Flair.
Finally, the last thing that we missed was Impact on Access TV. The show featured the Coven of Taylor Wilde and Kylan King beating the Death Dolls to win the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. You also had the Bullet Club's Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Kenta defeating Josh Alexander, Rich Swann, and Frankie Kazarian in a fun main event. Thought this was another good show, especially the main event, that 6-man tag. In some news involving Impact Wrestling, in an interview with Steve Fall of WrestlingNews.co, your boy Steve Fall, Krssi Luv, Kylan King announced that she has signed a deal with Impact Wrestling. King was a regular in AEW and NWA, but was still a free agent until recently. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. And then some bigger news for Impact Wrestling, Anthem Media has announced several changes to its power hierarchy, which includes Scott D'Amore as the new president of Impact Wrestling. Meanwhile, former WWE executive Lou D'Angeli is the vice president of marketing, and Richard Schervizer is the new president of Anthem Sports Group. They have also announced they will be working with Mike Pine's Thailand partnerships. So it's a big change of power over in Impact Wrestling and Anthem Media. But It is now Krssi Luv's favorite time of the show. We're going to close things off with our match of the week. Yes, top 3 matches from this past week. Your bronze medal, your silver medal, your gold medal. Sound off in the live chat and give us your top 3 matches for the week. I already told Jarrett to have that prepared as well, but I will start everything off as I usually do. A lot of this from the New Japan Cup because I loved it this week. My honorable mention, though, I got to say Dante Martin versus Mike Bennett from ROH TV. Definitely an honorable mention. Blackpool Combat Club versus Hangman Adam Page and the Dark Order. The Sheamus and Drew McIntyre match before the finish. Really good as well that I had to mention those. But my top 3 for this week. Number 3, Mark Davis versus Will Ospreay from the New Japan Cup. Love that matchup. Number 2, I'm going to go with Shota Umino versus Zack Sabre Jr. from the New Japan Cup. Shota, that was Shooter's best matchup, and in my opinion, probably the best matchup of the tournament so far. And number 1, I got to go to AEW, the House of Black versus the Elite versus Jericho Appreciation Society from AEW Dynamite. That was tremendous and one of the best TV matches of the year. Krssi Luv, what's your 3 for the week?
Bronze is Blackpool Combat versus the Dark Order and Hangman. Number 2, which is silver, I'm going to give to Drew and Sheamus before the finish. And my gold is just like SP House of Black versus Elite and Jericho Society.
And Jarrett, what's your 3 for the week?
Number 3, Dante Martin, Mike Bennett on Ring of Honor. Number 2, Blackpool Combat against Dark Order and Hangman. And number 1, Elite JAS and House of Black.
So we're all in agreement this week. Sound off in the live chat. Sound off in the comments. Let us know your match of the week this week. But that's going to bring us to a close on another edition of Tru Heel Heat. Thank you so much, Jarrett Bailey. We're glad to have you back, and we won't wait too long before we invite you back because we love having you on with everything you have to tell us, even with your jersey being up in the rafters on Tinder. You are always a good time. We appreciate you, sir. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media and what you got going on all your different podcast platforms, sir.
Yeah, at J Bailey NFL on Twitter. That's where you can find all my stuff. Oh, yeah, it says it right there. Have fun. So yeah, mock draft stuff for football if you're into that type of thing. No notes with Joe Pearl of Fightful because we talk about wrestling stuff and whatnot on there too. That show got crazy. Him and I just went for like an hour and a half just bullshitting, and it was a lot of fun. So that is out now wherever you get your podcast, and you can watch it on YouTube. And then my NFL show, The Pump Fake, did a new episode of that yesterday as well, talking about Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated and Ben Raven of M Live talking about free agency. So yeah. If you're into that football thing, listen to it, write it, or listen to it, read it, watch it, however. I will write it. And then, no notes as well with Joel Pearl. So a lot of stuff going on. Follow me on Twitter at JBaileyNFL to get all of it because I tweet about all of it. So that's where you can find it.
Thank you so much, Jared. We love having you on. Even when you were a Hook hater, we still loved you. We still
it was a long time ago. I've come a long way.
You've come a long way. You've grown older and wiser. Krssi Luv, let the people know where they can follow you.
So you can follow me, IG, Twitter, Krssi Luv _1. Twitter is Tru Heel Krssi Luv. And Serving Face and Hills will be back hopefully next week. My partner is very busy. Yes, we'll hopefully be back next week. And next week will be the week before WrestleMania, right? So hopefully we'll be back to back.
Yes.
So we need So we'll be back next week. So we can predict some of these women's matches, and some women have been doing a lot of good things lately. And we have to talk. We have to get some talking together. So, but other than that, you can just follow me. You can see me every week on Tru Heel Heat every Saturday at 11:05 a.m. with my good brothers, SP3 and our special guests. And that's it. I was on some podcasts this week, so check it out.
Yes, check out Krssi Luv, the guest star in. People asking her. She's a big star now. She's gonna leave.
No, I'm not. No.
You go. Follow me on the Twitter machine.
I'm too spoiled here.
at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month. That's the best way to contribute to what we do here, help the channel grow and help out the contributors. And of course, we got plenty of great stuff going on all different platforms. On Tru Heel Heat Sports tonight, we got Tru Heel Heat Sports number 123 with our UFC 286 watch along. So join Romeo and the gang for that. Also on twitch.tv/Tru Heel Heat Gaming. Tomorrow we got the GCW watch along with the Workhorse Wrestling Network. So join us for that as well. But thank you so much to our special guest, Jarrett Bailey. Thank you to Miss Krissi Luv. Thank you to our producer, Baby Seth. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 217. Reunions everywhere. We are signing off until next time.